fleet racing the outer course. They just started. It looks like we have it looks like we might have a general recall on our hands. And we're going to keep you posted on that. But a lot of excitement here as people are getting ready to go.
Yep. Ooh. And we want to let you know, those of you who have joined us before, we do multiple live drone coverage. So because of the weather, we are going to have to just play that one by ear. We do have our drones on board, and we are ready to fly when the weather says we can fly. And in the meantime, we're going to give you a lot of information here about the race and where we stand now. So we're getting a recall? Is that what's happening
Well,
here?
it's what it looks like to me,
Okay.
but I see the general recall flag up on the race committee vessel right now. We just watched the yellow fleet go off the line, and there was a huge pack in the middle to boat end of the line. They looked really, really punched out. I was surprised that they were so punched out. So I'm glad to see that the general recall flag is up and that these guys are going to get a chance to start again and start fairly.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and, Raul, let's go ahead and show them the map of the 420s with the yellow and the blue to just kind of explain to people how this works. We have a lot of parents watching, we have a lot of grandparents watching, we just have a lot of interested parties watching. And you're the expert here, Sarah, so kind of explain. I know it's kind of hard to understand on the map, but there's an outer line and an inner line. How does it work?
Yes, so there's two courses that these guys will sail today. The outer course is going to sail an upwind, a reach, downwind through the gates, back up, back down, and then past one more mark to the finish. The inner course is going to do it a little differently. They're going to sail upwind to the same first upwind mark that the yellow fleet in this case has gone to on the outer course, but they're going to go downwind right away. So they sail an inner windward leeward, then back up to that weather mark, then reach, then down through the gate and to the finish.
And here at the Tucci International Orange Bowl Regatta, we do have 4 different divisions. And 420s are one of the groups that we're going to be covering. And then we have Opties green, Opties red, white, and blue, and then the Ilka. So let's just, for basic explanation, go through what's what here. We're going to be watching the 420s right now. What is that? How does that work?
So the 420 is just one of these 4 divisions, but it's the very interesting class because it's a double-handed class. You have mixed gender teams racing double-handed boats. There's a trapeze for the crew in the front, and the skipper hikes. And they have 3 sails on these boats, a mainsail, a jib, and a spinnaker, a symmetrical spinnaker that they hoist when they're on a reach or on the downwind. So this class is exciting because there's a lot of intercommunication between the athletes. Takes 2 athletes to make a successful race. It's unique to the other divisions that are here at the Orange Bowl Regatta.
Okay, and for those who are kind of just joining us and maybe they need a little refresher from last year, or maybe just the first time joining us, Green Fleet with the Opties, that's kind of the younger group. Then you move up to the red, white, and blue Opties. Yep. We're going to be covering those races tomorrow. Then after that, you move up to the 420s, which is a 2-person boat. Then after that, you move up to the Ilkas or the lasers, right, which is kind of the bigger kids, I would say.
So it definitely can work this way, but but often what happens is after the red, white, and blue Opties, kids will choose to either go into the single-handed Ilka classes, or they will choose to go into the double-handed 420. So that's the main division point, I think, is post red, white, and blue.
Whether you want to sail with someone or by yourself.
Exactly, and so that takes a specific type of personality in each case, and also body type can be impactful on making that decision.
Okay. And because we're out here waiting for the 420s to get back on the line, because we have this general recall, let's learn a little bit more about Sarah Newberry Moore.
Oh no!
Yes. You are Team USA, and you are on the very end of qualifying for the Olympics in 2024, which is very soon.
Yes, very soon. Correct. We are poised to head into our Olympic trials. We just qualified the country for the Olympic Games in 2024, so the USA will be going to Paris in the NACRA 17. Which is very exciting. Yep. We have a good path to the games, and we're a very strong team right now with great boat speed and a really, really healthy program, very good coaches. And I've been sailing with my teammate David Liebenberg for 6 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you sail what?
The NACRA 17. It is a foiling, mixed gender Olympic multi-hull.
Okay, great. And you will be sailing in France, in Marseille?
In Marseille. Marseille will be the Olympic sailing venue, as Paris does not have enough water for us.
Oh, Paris. So that's very exciting. We're super proud of you, and we
you.
can't wait to watch you. On top of it, you're also a mom, so you're a mom sailor.
That's true. I am an athlete mom.
You're an athlete mom.
That
I love athlete moms.
Thank you. That has been a challenge, but extremely rewarding in the process. I wouldn't change it for a thing.
No, of course not. And will your whole family be going over?
I think so.
Yeah, great too. And your little boy?
Yes. He
Oh.
travels with me very often.
He's 2.
He's 2.5.
Yes,
Yes.
he's 2 now.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we waiting for? What's going on? Why is it taking so long? Are we there yet, Mom? What's happening?
That's such a good point, right?
Yeah.
Like in this sport, sometimes the most difficult thing is the waiting game because, I mean, it can take a lot of time and energy to reset a starting line, make sure that everybody on the race committee is ready to go. Sometimes a general recall happens because a boat is dragging. I'm not implying that that's what has happened here, but there's a lot of steps in the process. So what we see now is that we're finally back in sequence. We have Yellow Fleet on the line. They're getting ready to start the first race of the qualifying series in the Club 420.
I would like to remind people who are watching and you are watching our live stream, we love when you ask us questions. I follow along and I see if people have specific questions, whatever they are, feel free to just post it on our YouTube streaming page, and I do monitor that throughout our live streaming here, and we will get to all your questions. You know, this is our 3rd year streaming the Orange Bowl Regatta live. We were the first ones to do multi-drone live coverage of a regatta, and so many people love it. They get so excited. People watch from all over the world, and a lot of people, you know, can't make it here to South Florida for the race, so they get to watch it this way. South Florida, did I say South Florida? Looks like we're in Antarctica or Newport or somewhere. What's happening with this weather? What happened, Sarah?
Well, we had a cold front. Something that athletes in this sport deal with often is changing weather, and today was no exception. This morning it started off windy, rainy, and it only increased in severity. And finally this passed through, and the race committee was able to send all the classes out on the water. I do think we're missing the Ilka 4, but aside from that, we have all of these boats out here racing.
Okay,
And
looks like
officially,
There
we have Yellow Fleet of the 420s off the line, starting qualifying series race number 1.
Okay, so we're looking really good out here already.
Yes,
Looks like a good start.
a good start. What I can see right now that is interesting is it looks to me like the boats toward the boat end of the line have fared a bit better right off the starting line. It looks like the boat end was favored. So these boats that are higher up, more to windward, farther to the course right, they just look a little advantaged to me. So on a day like today,
Yes.
after a front, we wind up with pretty shifty conditions.
Did you say shifty with an F?
Yes,
Okay.
shifty.
Shifty.
So these shifty conditions can, mean that things are changing pretty fast. So right now, it looks like these guys on the right are faring well after the start, but we're really going to have to pay close attention as things can change quickly.
And also, let's talk a little bit about the mindset of the sailors now with this shift in our weather here and in the conditions so drastically. This morning it was actually a little humid and hot. We had this cold front come through, and now it's a totally different ball game out there.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very difficult to make a mindset shift that's so big. In the morning, a lot of these kids were hanging out, and I heard them asking their coaches, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think we're going sailing?
Right.
When do you think they're going to decide? And so going from that mindset to being ready and in gear to race is a big jump.
Yeah.
So I think what we're going to see today across all of the different fleets is that, the athletes that are able to make that switch and really tune in and be present are going to be the ones that are the most successful today.
Okay, I just got, somebody wrote, speak louder, we just got to the snack bar area. You got it. All right, that's Jenna Jenkins. We're going to speak a little bit louder so you can hear us a little bit better.
Not a problem.
Thank you, Jenna. I love the comments. I love when people give us their input and they ask us any questions that they have at the top of their mind. So let's talk about the course out here now. What's happening? The second group is setting up on the line, Sarah?
Yes, the second group, the Blue Fleet, they're getting ready to set up for their starting sequence. We see them sailing around. A lot of them congregating near the race committee boat on the starboard end, waiting to get their signal to make sure they have the time right on their countdown timers. And as they're doing that, we see that this first fleet, the yellow fleet, they've been going upwind for a little while here. I have to say the right side is still looking really good to me.
Okay, why is that?
When I'm watching these boats come back across on port down here by the pin end, they just look very far behind. They're pointing pretty far down. They're pointing toward Bear Cut Bridge, and none of them look lifted.
Okay.
Lifted means that they're on a better angle to the mark. These boats on the course right, you can just see they're much smaller, they're much farther away. They look like they're crossing the bows of all of the boats on port. Boats that have gone far right at the moment are looking very strong.
Okay, great. And we're showing you the shot here of the team. What is this, yellow or blue lining up here?
These guys are the blue guys getting ready to go here. We can see the blue flag is up on the committee boat. The next flag that goes up should be the preparatory signal, and that will mean that they're at 4 minutes until the start of the race.
Okay, we got a question here on YouTube. Will greens be broadcast today? No. We will do, tomorrow we will do red, white, and blue, and then we will do green. And the weather, we'll get a little closer there. Tomorrow we're going to broadcast red, white, and blue, and then we're going to broadcast or stream. I don't know if you can say broadcast anymore since it's the internet. I think we stream. We will stream red, white, and blue, and we will stream green tomorrow. Right now we are streaming the 420s, and a little bit later today we're planning on going over to the Ilkas and seeing what's going on over there. And our favorite part, you know my favorite part, Sarah? At the end of the race when we get to grab the sailors alongside of the boat and do the interviews with them. And it's so fun to just, you know, feel their enthusiasm and their excitement and the energy, and it reminds you of what this is really all about, why they're out here, what they're getting out of it. And really the excitement, it's infectious. And they come up alongside us on the boat and they talk to us, talk to everybody at home, and you're thrilled for them, you know, that they could partake in something like this.
You know, it's a view that most of the parents and family don't get to see that often, and it's something that coaches really have a lot of access to. So it's a wonderful thing if you're watching at home to be able to be part of this streaming broadcast. You know, maybe it's not a broadcast, but to be part of it and to watch these kids and their infectious energy and their passion for this sport. I'm very honored to be here and get to watch it today.
So let's talk about the flags here, what the different flags mean. So when people see it streaming there, we have this orange flag up in the middle. What is this, the orange flag?
Oh, this orange flag is on the pin end boat. That demarcates the line itself. So the race committee members on this boat and on the starboard end of the race committee line, they're going to be sighting through these two orange flags, and that's going to be where the line really is. So if a boat's bow or any part of their vessel is in front of that flag, that invisible line between the two orange flags, they will be considered to have had a false start. They will be considered over. Okay,
we have a question here from Pablo Lorca asking, what's the difference between the International 420 and the Club 420?
That's a very good question. I don't claim to be a complete expert on this, but I can certainly tell you that the International 420 is a little bit higher performance boat. It's lighter. It's a little bit more optimized for speed.
Okay.
And that's across the board, from the mast to the sails and all of the parts on the boat. They're just a little bit lighter, a little bit more performance-oriented boats.
Christopher Strickland is asking, can we get shots of the start line as Blue Fleet starts?
Great question. Okay, what we see right now...
We're doing our best out here, Christopher. It's really windy and rainy, but we're doing our best.
Let's see. Maybe we can get a shot straight down the line here. That's going to be beautiful. We're in sequence.
Ooh, look how pretty.
And we see that right now we're looking at this yellow fleet going upwind.
Mm-hmm. But maybe we could get on the line here, Anthony, if we could go over to the right, and maybe, I don't know if we could show them on the line. There we go. Ooh.
We're going to do our best here to get you that shot. Here we go.
There
we see a lot of boats congregating by the committee boat end of the line.
There you go, Christopher. You ask and we provide. Am I right?
Yes. And I have to say, from what it looks like, these boats have picked up on the fact that maybe the boat end is favored.
Okay.
So there's a lot of athletes, a lot of teams congregating over here on the right-hand side of the line, getting ready for the start to happen. And it's pretty telling. When you see the fleet doing that, it means that they know something. And what they know is that end is a little bit more favored than the pin.
And why would it be favored more?
Great question. Well, it's as simple as that race committee boat on the starboard end is closer to the windward mark.
Okay. So it makes it
closer, less distance.
Less distance,
Yes,
go closer. Like
exactly.
running on the inside of the track.
There you go.
Okay, I'm here with analogies all day long. Sarah.
Well, we need them for sure. It's not an easy sport to understand.
I know. Okay, so we're here covering the 420s. Let's talk about, they're supposed to do 5 races for qualifying, is that right? Or
Yes. So the way that the sailing instructions read, and internet, please let me know if I'm off base here. My understanding is that there's 2 days of qualifying racing scheduled for the 420s, but they need a minimum of 5 races to split fleets.
Okay.
So that means that if they don't get 5 races today, which they probably will not, that's a lot of races for one day, the qualifying series will continue until they do.
And then do you drop your worst time, or do you?
Yes, they will.
How does that work?
They will have a throwout, but more importantly, once they finish that 5th race, and the fleets will split. So they'll split the fleet down the middle, and you'll have gold fleet and you'll have silver fleet after that. And then it gets a little bit, heavy duty racing in gold fleet, because you have all of the top athletes together vying for these really good positions in the race.
Okay, so the gold fleet are the ones who time faster.
Exactly.
And then you have silver fleet, and then you have different winners in each division. You have a gold winner and a silver winner.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
That will be the case at the end of the event.
So qualifying is today and tomorrow. Correct?
Yes.
And then the final race will be on Saturday.
Yes.
Yes, today's Thursday.
Yes. And
Okay.
and this is pending how many races they get in, of course. So we'll see what happens today. It looks like we have good breeze after this big cold front line has come through. And if you guys are watching right now, you can definitely see that there's a lot of boats toward the race committee boat at the boat end. If you look at that image on the screen, you see everybody just packed together at the top of the line. And toward the right side of your TV screen, you're going to see that there's just a little more space between these boats down there to leeward. It'll be a good question to see how these boats fare when they're in a huge pack at the boat end like that. And I think you can kind of notice this right now. It looks like a lot of them are over.
It does,
right?
From our angle.
From our angle, it looks like a lot of boats are over here. And it's a good question whether or not the race committee will be able to write down that many numbers, or if they're going to put that general recall flag back up. Let's see what happens.
Well, what are those yellow buoys? What is that? Where they're sailing towards?
Oh, great question.
What are those?
Yeah, those are gate marks right there. So they're on the course at the moment. Have to retire from the race. They cannot sail that race. They have to sit out.
Oh, for just that one particular one.
Exactly. So it's just
Okay.
for one race, but it's a big deal. So they use it as a way to discourage athletes from pushing the line too hard. We're going to see right now. We're going back into
2,
sequence.
1. Okay, and that horn was what?
That was the first signal of race 1 of the qualifying series in the blue 420 fleet.
Okay.
In the meantime, while those guys are working to restart this race, we have behind us here a visual on the yellow fleet coming downwind, easing but not super hard. This is Gil Hackle and Ashlyn Tierney. Strong contenders at this year's Orange Bowl International Youth Regatta. Very good sailors. So we see them here, and they're going for the first tack of their upwind beat just as the second place boat has rounded the gate mark. So we have boat number 2 and boat number 3 turning also at the left turn toward the course right. That's a pretty good indication that what we are seeing on the upwind leg is some good right angle and good right pressure. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 boats have rounded. Then number 6 is coming along, and right after that we have a huge pack. Boats number 7 through 10 are very close together. That group, it could be anyone's race there. And we'll see here what happens. But Gil Hackle has done a good job covering the boats behind. He's taken 2 tacks after the gate marks, and he has this whole pack behind him pretty under control. We have one boat that has made a course right turn. A turn a right turn at the downwind mark, and that boat is going to the course left. Not sure that decision is going to play out for them super well.
Okay, and what are we looking at right here?
What do we see here? We see this is one of the crews that is going upwind at the moment. I think that this is possibly 5897, bow number 105.
Yep, 5897.
Yep, and this is a great shot of them going upwind. It's a good image of what it looks like to be on the boat right now. Some crews hiking hard, trying to keep the boats flat, keep all the power they can in the rigs. And there's quite a bit of chop here today. Quite a bit of chop for these guys.
5897 was Parker Moore and Sabrina Casagrande from the Hampton Yacht Club.
Very nice. Very nice. We have right behind them 9045, bow number 120. We have 9215, also close behind.
Okay, we have 9045.
Here we go. Bow number 117.
9045 Owen Graydon and Christian Yanati, Coral Reef Yacht Club.
We have the main part of the Yellow Fleet is now almost at the gate marks. We have almost all the Yellow Fleet going on their second upwind beat. And in the meantime, the Blue Fleet has had another and effectively what it does is allow you to have more power and to go a little bit faster. So if the crews are the ones that are trapezing on the 420s, that's the athlete in the front of the boat. And as they hike out like that on the wire with their feet on the side of the boat, they're counterbalancing the pressure that the wind is putting into the sails.
Okay, helps you go faster.
It helps you go faster. It helps you go faster, and it looks really cool.
It sure does look cool, and it looks like fun.
Yes, it is fun. It's a lot of fun.
So what's going through their mind right now? I mean, these are chillier temperatures than people expected down here, that the local sailors at least are not used to. But at this point, you're probably just on adrenaline, and you don't feel it probably, right?
I would imagine that the athletes that are performing well are probably not thinking too hard about the conditions. Discomfort tends to be a pretty big distraction across the board in our sport because there's so many variables and so many things that are uncomfortable that we can't control. A wave hitting us, it raining as we start the first race.
The temperatures.
Temperature.
How easily do these boats capsize?
Oh, I would say it's pretty easy.
He's on board, 2 women on board. Anne Robinson and Isabella Bard. And they're from which club? NB4T? Okay, from a team. Okay, great, amazing.
So I would say if I was in Yellow Fleet right now and I was having a good race, I would be feeling pretty good because this is a series right now. So far for the 420s, this has been a series that's very slow. They haven't had really any racing except what we're seeing today. And so getting in some good sailing in a minimal race regatta is really important. So if you have the ability to have a good or a decent race, you just call it a keeper and have to see what the event throws at you next. It's much easier to sail a consistent, successful event when the weather is, beautiful champagne sailing and sunny skies, and you're going to get in every race that's scheduled for the day. But it's really a test of mental fortitude and also the ability of the athlete, like I said earlier, to be present, to be focused, to just be there doing what they know how to do and not thinking about the outcome.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, I think we got a good shot here from our drone right now, and things are looking absolutely beautiful. And we're getting clearer skies as we speak. So kind of nice to not have the sun out, right? You can see a little bit better when you're out there on the water, right?
Yeah, that's certainly true, especially if we have this northwest breeze. Not having the sun setting in your eyes is pretty nice.
Yep. Beautiful shot there. And beautiful shot of downtown Miami here in the background. We can see it nice and clearly right now.
We have the postponement flag is down for Blue Fleet.
Did I hear 1 minute?
Correct. 1 minute to the orange flag, or or 1 minute to warning rather, because the orange flags are up. Right. 1 minute to warning. That means we're just around under 6 minutes away from the first start of the Blue Fleet racing in the qualifying series of the Club 420 here at the Orange Bowl International Youth Regatta.
Okay.
But what's very cool also is that these guys in Blue Fleet have been able to watch the Yellow Fleet sail most of their race. So they have a lot more information about the race course than the Yellow Fleet did when they started.
3, 2, 1.
That is our warning signal for Blue Fleet.
Okay, our warning, and then how much more time from the warning?
5 minutes from that horn, and these boats will be racing.
Now, did you sail these at one point in your career?
I did, actually. I sailed the 420, and I drive my boat now. I'm a helm. But when I was a kid, I crewed in the 420.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, so it was a great experience.
So you got to hang off the side?
I did. I got to hang off the side.
On the trapeze.
On the trapeze.
Okay, great. So we are waiting. We're waiting out our 5 minutes, probably about 1 minute into it now, maybe about 4 minutes left.
Yeah, we should be close to our preparatory signal here, and you're going to hear another horn for that very soon.
Amazing.
So the final sailors in the Yellow Fleet race have come around the gate marks and are headed upwind. Yellow Fleet is, they have 1.5 more legs, or 2 more legs technically, I think, until they're finished. And by that time, the Blue Fleet should be off and racing, and hopefully Yellow will be able to get right back into it and start again.
And I know that I believe this year the regatta was is at capacity. So I believe we have I believe it's 700 sailors.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the largest international youth regatta in the Americas.
Wow.
And then the only regatta larger than this, I think, is Lake Garda in Italy. And so it's wonderful to see. And this was the Orange Bowl Regatta, and it started in conjunction with the Orange Bowl football game a long time ago, decades ago, as a matter of fact. We're going to get some history on that coming up as well for you. I know we just probably have about 2.5 minutes left before we're going to have to start this next race.
Yeah, I see. I can see this boat 8777 checking the pin end of the line. That's pretty smart. I think that's a good place to be. I mean, at the moment, if I was racing this race, I would be trying to do as much homework as I could to understand what would be the best approach for my start. That would include getting transits of the line. If you want it to start at the boat end, you would do that by setting up near the boat end and measuring your distance to the line.
So we had 8777 doing their homework. That's Victoria Fernandez Agudelo and Aurora Rodriguez, Coral Reef Yacht Club.
Oh, maybe these guys are actually racing, so that I could be wrong. That might not be a boat that's researching the line. That might be a boat that's sailing through the line in the Yellow Fleet. I apologize about that. But that leads me to say that it would be nice to see more boats checking the line here. This is an opportunity for the Club 420 fleet. Nobody is checking the pin end of the line.
To do now, what when you go by the pin end of the line, what are you finding out?
So there's a couple things that you can test. I mean, one is going to be what your drift feels like. Like if you were to stop and set up there for a minute, measuring the number of boat lengths that you drift sideways, that can give you insight into where you would need to be 1 minute from the start.
Okay.
Another thing is that if you plan to start at the pin end, you can get a transit through the boat end. So most people know how to get a transit. This is very specific. This is shop talk, okay? Some people who are watching this live stream are going to know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And others are going to think I sound crazy, but you can get like we call it a line sight, and it's a way of using the landscape behind the starting marks as a way to measure your distance from the line. So it's a skill that you practice and get good at, and it can really help you tell how far away you are from the line, and that gives you so much control. Because if you know you're 3 boat lengths away, and you know how many seconds it takes you to accelerate in 3 boat lengths, you can pretty much feel more assured that you're going to be on time, not early.
Okay, we have a horn there. What's that horn
That
for?
is 1 minute to go. And actually this fleet is looking like they've arranged themselves really nicely. I don't see a really punchy group right now, but everybody's at the boat end. Maybe that's a reason why nobody's checking the pin, is the boat end seems really favored to this fleet. That could be very true.
Okay.
But what we're seeing now is, you can kind of tell there's like a first row of starters, and then there's a lot of stragglers behind them, hoping to find a spot. And let's see how that plays out here. There's a couple boats over at the boat end right now. They're definitely gonna get those numbers. I see at least 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have a whole pack getting over here. Oh no, this is gonna be another general recall, or If the race committee is really good, they might catch all those numbers, but it's looking like half the fleet at the moment is over.
It's just really hard to time it just right, isn't it? I mean, just to get it, kind of stand back a few feet. Oh, there, we heard another horn.
Let's see what happens here. Let's see if they got all those numbers or if they're going to do a recall.
Looks good so far. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm surprised. Maybe my view is off, but it looked like we had some boats that were over there.
Okay. And you see, I don't know if you can see, you can't see it from right here, but all the coaches' boats are right behind. Who do we have here in the lead so far? 91.45. 91.45 coming out in front, looking strong. I will tell you who that is.
We have a lot of boats flopping over onto port tack here, trying to protect the right side. People trying to get to the course right.
Sam
There's
Speary.
a couple boats that have set themselves up right of the fleet already. So we'll have to see how that plays out for them.
Yep, here we go. There you go. You're right. There you go. It's Sam Speary and Marcus Greco. They were out in front there at 91.45 NBYC.
Who's this boat? There's a boat with a red stern here all the way to the right, leading to the right, it looks like. Farthest right boat. I do see a little lefty right now. That boats are showing a little lefty, so boats on port seem to have some pressure at the moment. But remember, today's this wind direction is a very shifty direction, right? So we might see a geographic effect. We might see something that's generally working. You know, for example, maybe people find that one side or the other of the course is generally working better, like the right, for example. But that being said, you can also see in the drone footage right now that there's these lines of pressure, these puffs coming down the course, and things are changing. It's an unstable direction. The wind is coming over the land, through downtown,
Look like
and onto the water.
87.62. They look like they're kind of in the lead right there. Will Cullis and Grant Schmidt from NB4T Maximus. And just for the record, we just want to clarify, we're not the official judges, and what we are giving you is our perspective and what we see. So if we say looks like someone won, it's not official until it's official.
Absolutely. And the fact that I thought I saw boats over the starting line might be completely untrue. Because I'm just sitting over here on the media boat. I don't have the best view, but I can tell you what I think. And you guys are also good judges, you know, parents who have been watching this sport and friends who have been watching this sport forever. You can see these guys working hard out there, and you know, it's just so much fun that we get to follow this with a drone.
Yep. We have multiple drones. We have cameras down on the boat. We have cameras ready to catch the sailors when they're done, and we can come and grab them and do some quick interviews with them. Look at these great shots here. What do we have here? Is that 8814?
Okay.
8814 is Noah Stapleton and Hannah Crompton.
Look, I need to redeem myself right now. I have just been informed
Yes.
that there were 9 boats over the line.
So there you go. Your observation was spot on.
Okay, but I'm
but
not.
what happened though? But how come they didn't recall them?
Well, because I believe we were in a black flag start, and so what winds up happening in that is there's really nothing anyone can do. They're just going to let those boats
Sail, but then it's not
sail,
going to count.
but then they're going to have it's called, you know, black flag disqualification. So those 9 boats will have a high score to carry until they can throw it out in a throw out.
Okay. And when you explain what that means, a high score to carry, what does that mean?
So BFD, a black flag disqualification, is typically the number of boats in the fleet plus 1. So that means, and I'm actually not sure on the number here, but let's just say, for example, you had 20 boats in a fleet and you got a black flag, you would have 21 points. That's a whole lot of points.
And let's talk about the point system. How does it work?
Well, so most sailing is done with a low point scoring system.
Yep.
And this regatta has a low point scoring system. So athletes get the number of points of the position of their finish. So if you were to finish first, you would get 1. And if you were to finish second, you would get 2. And so on and so forth. And so the higher your score, the farther back you are in the fleet.
Now, when you're qualifying, do you care if you're on the blue team or the yellow team? Does it matter at this stage of the game? No.
No, not really. I mean, most of the time the fleet split is pretty even. It's it's the luck of the draw who you're going to have in your fleet when it's a split fleet qualification. Certainly, I've sailed in some regattas where you look at the split fleets and you go, "Are you serious? This fleet is so hard, and this fleet is so easy." But it really shouldn't matter very much, because the main difference between the qualifying series and the final series is how difficult it is to race in the top of the pack, how fast the boats are. So in Blue Fleet and in Yellow Fleet, there's going to be 50% less fast boats, right, than if you're racing in Gold Fleet.
Right.
And here we have the Yellow Fleet coming downwind in their final downwind of the race. I know we have some drone footage of the upwind Blue right now, but we've got the Yellow Fleet going downwind at the moment, almost at the gate marks, and we have 9007 still ahead by quite a bit here. I believe that's Gil Hackle. Let's see. Yep, Gil Hackle and Ashlyn Tierney, and these guys have a similar size lead as they did before. 8311 is the boat that is just behind them, and that is Matthew Black and Harrison Hubbard. They're flying an American flag spinnaker. I do like that quite a bit, I have to say. I give props to that kite. That is a good looking spinnaker.
Now, I know there's a lot of superstition in a lot of sports, so are there any superstitions in sailing?
Oh my goodness. Well, some of them are so silly they're not even worth discussing here.
What about spinnaker colors or styles or anything like that?
That's a great question. I think it would vary from boat to boat. In the 420, it looks like they can have some freedom in what color their spinnakers are, and it's really fun. So I bet each athlete sort of has their own opinion on what's best and what's fast. In performance classes, like in my boat, some people have ideas of which cloth they think is better, the blue or the red or the white. What the funny thing about superstitions is everybody says, "I'm not superstitious."
Right.
And then they say, "But I always have to wear this pair of socks."
Right.
And then somebody says to them, "Well, maybe you shouldn't wear the socks today." And they say, "No, I think I'm just going to wear the
I'm
socks."
gonna wear the socks. I have to wear the socks.
That's
We have PF Wood Turning. He is watching here, and he says, "Go Dakota."
Go
We'd like
Dakota.
To give Dakota a little shout out because PF wrote us a nice little message here.
So we have right now, these boats are going through the gate marks and then to the finish line after they take their last turning mark. Gil Hackle has a big lead, and then we have right behind him boat number 8311, Matthew Black and Harrison Hubbard. It looks like a tighter race for the next four. We have 9354, 9215, 9045, and I've lost sight of the last kite there, 5887, I think.
You said 9354. That's Turner Ryan and Bell Plaka, Little Egg Harbor Yacht Club, and Surf City Yacht Club. Now, I know it's interesting because I got to talk to some of these teammates before the race, and in some cases, they're meeting for the first time. They're not their regular teammates.
Really?
Yeah, because one thing or another will happen, and you kind of get a last-minute cancellation or somebody gets sick. So I did meet.
And it's Christmas, too.
And it's Christmas. And so I did meet a few people who said, "Oh, I met my teammate yesterday."
Wow.
But it seems to work out. So.
Well, that's great. I mean, I bet that's a huge challenge for some of these athletes.
Yeah.
So really exciting. If we have athletes out here that are just learning the ropes with each other, they might have some really brilliant moments this week, and they might have some, moments they'd rather avoid. But right now we're just seeing the last bit of the lead pack is coming down toward the gate marks in the Yellow Fleet. Gil Hackle and his crew are about to finish first in this race.
Seemingly.
They have a good lead, though. I think they're safe here. We have almost one boat finished.
Yep, we'll try to grab them for a boatside interview.
That would be great. We have boat number 5897 dousing their kite, heading upwind to the finish mark. It looks like one of these boats may have sailed the wrong course, and now they've backtracked and they're going around to that yellow mark again to make a port 2 rounding and head upwind to the finish line. That's the pink kite that we see there.
You mentioned 5897, and we talked about them earlier. That's Parker Moore and Sabrina Casagrande from Hampton Yacht Club. And right now we're looking here at where are they coming up to
We
here?
can see this finishing boat here, and this is
great.
just the first 5 boats heading to the finish line. Gil Hackle and Ashlyn Tierney have already crossed the line, and looks like they're heading over to their coach boat to talk with their coach.
And what's the coach saying to them right now? You coach also, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
well, I do want to have time. I do most of my own sailing now, but
Yeah.
I do love coaching.
Yeah.
What would that coach be saying? He'd probably say, "Hey guys, great race."
Good job, you won. Do
Yeah.
it again.
Yeah, he might point out some ways that they could have made other, small decisions differently that would have potentially given them bigger leads. But if I was that coach, I would probably try to emphasize what was working well, if it can be used again in the next race.
Beautiful.
Matthew Black and Harrison Hubbard, second place overall in race 1 for Yellow Fleet in the qualifying series of the Club 420. It is not warm out here, I have to tell you.
It is. It's definitely calls for a winter coat out here right now.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we're complaining. We're dry on this boat.
That is so true. We are
They're
so
wet
lucky.
in the water.
But I
It's
have to
actually
say,
nice. It's breezy. It's like the
It
AC's on really strong.
yeah, it's a very nice AC temperature
Yes,
day.
that's what I'd call it. An AC temperature day.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a Chamber of Commerce weather day, but I think tomorrow is supposed to be. Tomorrow's supposed to be a bright sunny day. And it did call for this morning I heard on the radio, 100% chance of rain. And they were right. It did rain. But that's the best thing about South Florida. You don't like the weather? Wait, it'll change.
So true.
But we did wait a little while today. We waited about 4 hours before we got out here and got started. So the weather did change. It stayed cloudy, but at least it's not raining anymore. And it is quite chilly out here, but it does feel nice.
Yeah. And at the moment we have our second fleet here, the Blue Fleet. They have rounded the first mark of their inner trapezoid, and they are going downwind toward the gate marks.
And we're trying to flag down some of the sailors so we can come over here and get a quick interview with them, which is always fun. But some of them, I think they're trying to get in line for the next race probably. So they might be a little focused on what they're doing.
Yeah, I would imagine they're keen to just get back to the starting line there, but it would be wonderful if we could grab them. From what I can see on the starting line, it looks like our pin boat has moved up quite a ways.
Okay.
And that's probably going to help the Yellow Fleet in their next start to avoid having too many boats over the line. Oh, I think we have a view up on the drone
Beautiful.
of boats going downwind in the Blue Fleet. It looks to me like the breeze has moderated a little bit. It's a little tiny bit lighter, just a little lighter than when we first came out, now that this front line has passed. And
Can you feel just by your own knowledge and being a USA team athlete, can you feel, the knots are blowing at this? I mean, do you have a pretty good idea?
yeah, there's a couple parts to it that become intuitive. One is just the texture of the water, so you're kind of reading the depth of color, like if it's a little bit more shadowy or like there's more ripples close together. You have an intuitive kind of understanding of what that amount of pressure is. And then there's other ways of telling, like how many whitecaps there are, how big the whitecaps are, and if the chop settles. That's often a sign that our breeze is dropping a little bit. In this race for the Yellow Fleet that they just finished, what we saw was that some boats were trapezing really hard, some boats were marginal trapezing, so crews going in and out. And the more marginal trapezing we see, that's also an indication that it's getting lighter.
So when you say marginal trapezing, you mean not hanging over the side as much?
Not as much, right? Like full trapezing, you're going to see athletes look like they have like a board strapped from their neck to their feet. You know, like if it's windy and they need to flatten the boat, the crews are going to hike as hard as they can and get as low as they can. And so what I saw in this fleet when they were doing their second upwind was that some of these boats they looked like they were struggling for power. Some athletes were crouching on the side of the boat, trying to keep the boat from heeling to the windward side. And so it seems to me like we have the breeze moderating a little bit. Also, as they finish here, I can definitely tell you, watching them go upwind toward the finish, there's just a lot less crews trapping. There's a lot more crews sitting on deck. And the boats that we see they're going just a little bit slower than they were when they started this race. So Blue Fleet is heading downwind here. We have footage of boat number 9006 up on the drone. This is a very cool spinnaker, I have to say. It is a rainbow kite.
I love it. 9006. That is Kingston Keyung and Isabella Clark, NB4T. So that's 9006 with our rainbow flag. Kingston Keyung and Isabella Clark.
So what you see right now, Isabella is jibing the spinnaker pole.
All right,
and
beautiful.
The 420, the Club 420, has a symmetrical spinnaker. Means it's evenly shaped.
Now what's going on here? We got a 9006 and 9177.
Yeah, it looks like I just tuned into this. It looks like 9177 is just pulled off a jibe to the windward side of 9006. Oh, that's Minx Anthony.
And Leighton Rivero, Coral Reef Yacht Club.
Yep.
That's 9177.
Yep, so it looks like they're having a little trouble getting their kite to fill here. They got to pull that pole back and get the kite filled. In the meantime, you can see 9006 below them, they had actually made some gains down in that process of that jibe. These maneuvers that the boats make when they're in close quarters, precision is everything.
Look at that beautiful drone shot there. You can see the spinnakers out. It looks bright. It looks beautiful.
Yes, and look how spread out they are.
They really are.
They're
What's
so
going on,
spread
Sarah?
out.
Why
Boats
are they so
have
spread out?
really spread out from left to right across the course. They seem like they're all trying to have their own wind. Nobody wants to have bad air from the boat behind them. And it also probably indicates that maybe there's not just one side of the race course where you want to be right now, because I see boats that look like they're doing well, across the board here. Maybe not all on one end of the course or the other at the moment. There is one boat that looks pretty far ahead right now. Looks like they're going around the gate marks with a white spinnaker. They're making a right-hand turn at the marks to go. It looks like they're heading course left. We'll see if they choose to tack and cover the fleet. In the meantime, our drone is showing 8106.
That's Drew Dorsey and Abby Baird. That's NB4T also. 8106, Drew Dorsey and Abby Baird.
Well, this is an interesting moment because we have a boat on port here in front of them, and they are on starboard. So now we have that port boat is jibing to get on starboard and match them into the gates.
That 2383 is Jordan Genove and Julia Getter.
Nice. That was a pretty decent jibe. We have our pole back. Kite is full. Getting the boat moving.
Jordan and Julia right there.
So we have Blue Fleet. I maintain it looks as if the breeze has moderated, throughout this last 30 minutes. It's dropped significantly. And we're seeing, in this drone footage, we're seeing the Blue Fleet approaching their gate marks after their first downwind of the race. After this, they will go back upwind. Okay, what we have here, again, footage of these two boats that we were looking at earlier. Now we have a broader view of the gate marks here. Look at this. We have these boats making this is another boat that's going to take a right-hand turn. Watch this boat. He's going to jibe around that yellow mark. There he goes. And we have the other two boats making a left-hand turn.
Okay, let's jump over here. Are these our winners?
No.
These are just... Oops. Here, let me see. Oh, you know what? I don't know. I think there's my...
Do you want to use this one?
Here we go. Come on up here, Ted. My microphone will only goes so far. Hi, what's your name?
Keegan Chatburn.
Keegan, we're going to try to get you to talk as loudly as you can.
Yeah.
How'd you do in that race?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's our first time doing a Club 420 event, so.
Your first time, how did it go?
It went okay.
Yeah, what's your strategy next time?
I think just cleaning up some of the stuff that we're still working on, so.
Okay. Who do you sail for?
One United.
One United. Okay, what do you think of this weather?
Definitely gotten better since this morning, so thankful for that.
All right, better since this morning, so thankful for that. Thanks, guys. We'll let you get on the line for the next race, and we really appreciate you coming over here and saying hello. I know it's a little tricky, but we're doing the best we can. Hey, good job. Thanks, Tim. Tim calling over the sailors here. And what do you see there on the monitor?
Well,
Sarah?
I can see here that we have pictures of our blue fleet rounding the marks at the gate marks and going upwind, and I see that the fleet is splitting here. There's a lot of boats going right and some boats are going left. We're going to have to see how that plays out for them in the long run of this second upwind leg for the blue fleet. The thing about the gate marks is that it's so important to have a rounding that gives you a good lane. Your lane is sort of what we define, as the path you sail, and if a boat is above it, where they can give you bad air, then your lane is going to be pretty tough to live in because you're going to be a little slower, you're going to have a little less wind, and you can see here we have this boat 9145. They're in a pretty tough lane there. Meanwhile, 9210, they look like they have a great lane. And I think that you'd see over time that having a good lane is going to make a big impact on how many bows you can cross later. So 8440 and 9210. 9210 is going pretty quick. They're making gains forward on 8440. That could be because 8440 also has a tight lane. That's what I'm seeing by that. Yep, here we go. That's a great shot to show it. What we can see now is 8440 has a pretty tough lane on number 95, and it's kind of resulted in the boat that's above and behind 9210 making gains forward on them. Now that 95 is tacked away, 8440 should be doing a much easier job in keeping their lane and sailing fast, and you can already see that in the footage here. So 8440, Scott Opert and James O'Leary, and we have 9210. 9210 is Annie Samus and Simone Moss.
And we'd like to remind people that, first of all, thanks so much for joining us as we stream live today. And if you want to text your friends and family members who are in Miami or not in Miami, maybe they're in a different country, tell them to just go ahead and go on YouTube and type in 2023 Orange Bull International Youth Regatta Day 2. So it's the 2023 Orange Bull International Youth Regatta Day 2. And then they'll be able to jump on and watch our live stream here and see their friends, their grandchildren, their children, whoever they might be interested in following along here for the day.
Great shots on our drone footage right now of boats going upwind in the Blue Fleet, heading to their second upwind mark rounding of the race. From there, the Blue Fleet is going to get on a reach, and they're going to head toward mark number 2. Well, what's effectively mark number 4 for them. And then they'll head downwind and toward the finish line.
Love the comments here coming on our live chat that we're streaming live on YouTube here. It says, go Dakota. I agree, Dakota is a very good sailor. And then Kristen Allen is saying, siblings Jack and May working hard together in Yellow Fleet with Sail 405. Oh, that's nice. They're brother and sister, and they're
That
working
is so
together.
cool.
What a great bonding moment. That's like a memory for a lifetime. That is for sure.
Well, it can be a good memory or a bad memory, depending on how it goes.
Hopefully
but
it's a good memory.
I hope so, too.
Memories nonetheless. Okay, and it turned out to be a great day. Was this good sailing weather? I mean, I know it's not sunshiny, but the wind seems to be pretty nice.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, it's windy enough that we've seen some trapezing, we've seen some hiking.
We got 86.55 and 93.58 coming across here on our drone shot.
Yeah, look at them go. Okay, so you can see now the crew is sitting inside on this boat, and the crew on the boat below is sitting just on the rail hiking a little bit.
Yep, we got 93.58, that's Harrison and Fiona. Harrison Zott and Fiona Barbietto.
I'm going to guess here that Fiona is fixing something on the spinnaker, and you can see Harrison hiking hard at moments to make up for her weight being inside on the boat. She looks like she's retying a line. Maybe they had a problem on their downwind with that kite. So good job, Fiona, fixing it before the next moment here that you're going to need it. This is the name of the game, though. Things are always breaking on boats. And
that is true.
It's really true. And half the battle of being on a racing sailboat is being prepared to solve problems as they come up. And two people on the boat can encourage each other and help each other, like you see Harrison hiking hard for Fiona while she's fixing that line. Or, sometimes it can go the other way, where it can become a distraction or frustrating for the athletes. So the teams that are really successful are often the ones that are helping each other and working together. And when something goes wrong or a line needs to be retied or fixed, they have each other's back. It was very cool to catch that on film.
So we had, where are we with the races now? We had with the green and the yellow and the blue.
So we've had one race in the yellow fleet. They finished that race, and they are getting prepared for their second race of the qualifying series in the Club 420 here at the Orange Bowl International Youth Regatta. And at the same time that yellow fleet is getting ready for race 2, blue fleet is midway through race 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the wind has gotten lighter. Every time I say it, it's like it gets lighter again. So we have enough breeze for sailing. We still have beautiful conditions, but they've moderated quite a bit. And the wind is coming in spurts. We're seeing puffs where crews can hike fully or hike on the trapeze, and we're seeing lulls where maybe they're sitting inside a little more to make sure that they don't heel the boat to windward.
And we're still watching their 93.58. That was a great, what did they just tack there? 93.58. That's Harrison and Fiona. It looks like Fiona did the job. She fixed whatever needed to be fixed.
Nice job, Fiona.
Smooth sailing right now.
Super crew.
Again, if you want to text your friends and family members to let them know about the live stream right now, all you have to do is just tell them to go to YouTube and type in 2023 Orange Bowl Regatta, Day 2. I don't even think they have to type that much in. 2023
It
Orange
sounds
Bowl
really
Regatta.
easy. Really easy, and this is such a cool thing for friends and family to be able to watch their athletes racing in this very, very important international event that Miami is so fortunate to host, and we're really thankful to the sponsors of this event as well.
We are. We have a lot of sponsors. Our primary sponsor is Tucci. Tucci stands for the Ultimate Umbrella Company Incorporated. People think it's Italian. It's not. It's an acronym. Tucci, and we love our Tucci umbrellas. They're the best made umbrellas in the world. They're all over the place. They're at Disney World. They're at Starbucks. I mean, do I even need to list any more? They're everywhere.
They can be on your terrace also.
They can. They're great. They're great quality, and they really just last forever. And they also do patio furniture and other outdoor shades. And they are our big sponsor of the regatta. They were last year. They are this year. And so we say thank you to them. We do have some interviews with their CEO, Dugan Clark, and we do a little walkthrough of the factory. So we learn how they're actually made. And they have 3 plants, one of them here in South Florida, the biggest one. And we get a little behind the scenes look at that. So we got to learn how to make a very sturdy umbrella.
That's really cool.
It is cool. I actually went through and did the walkthrough. It was really, really cool, interesting. So a big thank you to Tucci and all of our sponsors. Also, there's a big raffle going on, so we do encourage folks who are interested in participating in the raffle. Oh my gosh, we had so many prizes last year. Do you remember? We were just giving away prizes left and right. Everybody, you get a prize and you get a prize. So we'll get some more information on how to get your raffle tickets because I, to be honest, don't have that handy right now. What are we looking at here? We got some people going around the buoy.
Oh yeah, this is exciting. This is Blue Fleet rounding their second upwind mark. It's technically the same upwind mark they rounded before, but they're on the next lap now, and we have just really good sailing going on here for these guys in Blue Fleet. I have to say, I have heard news that we are having 2 races today in the Club 420 fleet.
Okay, and so we have 1 complete, and we have 1 more to go.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Correct.
And then what do we know what's going on with the Ilkas? Because we want to get over there also. So hopefully they'll have more than 2. So once we finish up the second one here, I imagine we will roll some video that we already have. And as we are sailing over to the other site, you can watch some pre-taped stuff we have for you. And hopefully we'll get over to the Ilkas on time to see at least one of their races, maybe 2. Who knows?
Well, what I'm seeing right now on the drone footage, and I think we have that up for you guys on the live stream. What I'm seeing is that there's a lot of boats that have overstood the windward mark on starboard. So people have gone too far toward the ley line. And I think that might mean that some of those guys have sailed too much distance.
What does that mean? What do you mean sailed too much distance?
Well, so if you know, the ley line is sort of if you're tacking on the ley line, it's your best path to the windward mark. And it means you've sailed the shortest distance. If you go farther than that, you're just sailing extra distance in the race. And that can make a huge impact on where you wind up in the fleet. Boats that sail less distance are just fundamentally going to have been more efficient in the race. It can really be an equalizer. Boats that go too far, like you can really see it on the screen here. Boats that go too far, they're giving up a lot of distance to these guys that have sailed the correct path.
So I can't quite get that number there, but when you turn at the buoy, you want to hug it.
Yes.
You don't want to be so far away.
Yes.
So there's a boat that's coming in here right now close to the yellow buoy. That's good positioning.
Yes, and if you look way back on the course, sort of farther on the horizon, what you can see is the places that these boats have chosen to tack toward the ley line. Some of them have gone really far toward the left-hand side of the screen. Mm-hmm. Those guys have sailed too much distance. Meanwhile, the one that's about to round the yellow mark here, the closest boat to the yellow mark here, that was a good ley line. They probably made some gains on people who went too far. And I think everybody can see the drone footage on the stream now. Yep. Yeah. We have a bunch of spinnakers going up on this reach leg. Blue Fleet reaching toward their next mark.
And how do you know when to put your spinnaker out, Sarah?
Well, as soon as you get to the windward mark, you'd like to. It depends a little bit on the wind angle, or the wind speed as well. If the reach leg is really high, you might have to wait a little bit to put that kite up. If you're in a lot of traffic, like you see some of these boats here, there's a lot of traffic around, and they have to choose the right time to put the kite up, choose how they're going to navigate around the boats near them. It can be at different times powerful to be high and powerful to be low. So there's a lot of choices being made on this reach leg in a symmetrical spinnaker boat like the 420. And again, the goal in the race is to sail the least amount of distance possible.
That's right. The quickest way from point A to B is a straight line.
Yes. And the nature of sailboats is so against that. So we're always working
really
to sail the shortest distance that we can. So these guys in Blue Fleet, they're getting through their first race, and like we said earlier, we have only 2 races today in the Club 420. So once these guys finish, we'll really be at the halfway mark of the day. It seems to me, like from the noises I hear from the starting line, that we have our yellow fleet going back into sequence, heading into race 2 of the qualifying series in the Club 420.
So looking at the time, let's see, right now, about 3:22. We're on a little bit of a tape delay, so that's going to be a little off when people hear it. But probably we'll wrap up out here around 4 o'clock for the 420s, I would guess. Maybe a little earlier.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
We have to see. If the breeze is dying here,
Okay.
we might see that it takes a bit longer for race 2 than for race 1.
Okay. And a beautiful aerial shot there, a bird's eye view, literally here, of what we are seeing. And
Ooh,
now
that
what's
boat.
having a luffing problem here? What's going on?
Oh yeah, so that boat just it looks like there's something going
Ouch.
on with their spinnaker, but also they just got rolled by the red and yellow kite. So let's see. There's some problem solving going on here. Yeah, it's wrapped around the forestay. Let's see what happens. That's a tough situation. Which spinnaker color do you like the best, Cynthia?
Well, my favorite color is coral, Sarah.
So,
So anything in coral or any shade of coral, that's what I'd vote for. Although this is a nice one too, the yellow and the red there.
yeah.
What about you? Any favorites? Any superstitions?
I don't know. I really like the American flag spinnaker. I
Oh,
think
of
that
course
one
you
is so
do.
cool.
Team USA. Again, if you're just joining us, this is Sarah Newberry Moore sitting right beside me. She's part of Team USA, and everything looks to be in line for her to be going to the Olympics in 2024. We know them as the Summer Olympics, but the sailing portion is actually a little bit earlier, right, in March and April?
No, so we'll have some major events in March and April, some Olympic trials events.
Okay.
But the games themselves will be at the very end of July and the
Oh.
very beginning of August.
So when you go over to France, then you're there March, April, May, June, July. You stay the whole time?
That's a great question. We do tend to go back and forth a bit, but in this upcoming year, I will be moving to Marseille. I'll bring my 2.5-year-old with me, so he doesn't have to jump from daycare to daycare anymore.
Very nice. That's
So we
re-
will be living in Marseille for the duration.
Okay, and that's about how far out of Paris? About 2 hours out of Paris?
Yeah, I think flying about 2 hours out
Yep.
of Paris. Yeah.
Look at this. This is beautiful. All these spinnakers sailing.
Oh yeah.
Look at you. Oh, that's a nice shot. You can see all the coach boats behind. And
Yep.
what are the rules for the coaches?
They need to maintain a certain distance from the athletes. You know, as you can see, they run a lot of wake behind their boats, and you know, primarily the race committee is trying to prevent them from interfering in any way.
Are you allowed to wear anything in your ear where your coach talks to you, or no?
No,
They do that in car racing, though, don't they? You're
They
allowed
do.
To, yeah.
They do, and it does seem quite cool. But no, not in sailing. We are not
Okay.
allowed to do that.
No. Well, technology's advanced a lot. Who knows? Maybe they'll rewrite the books.
It's so true, and I think if you look at the big performance classes and events in sailing today with the America's Cup and Sail GP, it is much more common for technology like that to be incorporated and used as the boats get faster and faster and harder to sail. So that is the direction that things could head for our sport, but the classic sailing will always be one of the most beautiful parts of our sport. So these beautiful 420s, lasers, the Opti is not a beautiful boat, but it's a great boat to sail in, and it's just so amazing in terms of competition for the young sailors. They learn so much tactically. This is the heart of our sport right now. And the more complicated we make it, the harder it is for people to do it. So that's one reason that technology becoming advanced, it's a double-edged sword for our sport.
Say that again. What makes it harder to do?
Well, the more technology we incorporate in the sport, the harder it is for people to do it. It just increases the price point on the sport.
Beautiful shot there. We have 90-50 and 84-40. 90-50 and 84-40. Let's see. 84-40, Scott and James. So Scott Opert and James O'Leary. Great shot there. I have some requests from some parents here. Show 8106, somebody asked. We'll try. Let's see if we can find 8106. We're going to do our very best. 8106, that would be Drew and Abby. Oh, I think we showed them earlier. We sure did, 8106. Beautiful shot there.
So from what I understand, we have Freddie Parkin winning this Blue Fleet race by a long distance. And Freddie is so far ahead right now that it's hard to tell that he's racing in the fleet. Our current drone footage is showing, the next part of the pack here. But but this boat in front, I believe, is Freddie Parkin, and we have him, winning this race by a landslide at the moment.
Is this the white or the red,
No,
white, and blue?
I think it's a white kite, and it's quite a ways ahead. Let's see what we can find here. Here we go. Let's see. I think he's even farther ahead than that. There he is.
Oh wow, you're right. He is quite in the front there.
Yeah, so that's a big gap between Freddie and the next part of the fleet. They have a pretty comfortable lead, I would say. And Freddie is a very experienced athlete in the 420.
Do you know him?
Yes, actually, Freddie Parkin, I've known him since he was in White Fleet in the Opti, and he's always been a great sailor. He comes from a very strong sailing background as well. His whole family is made up of sailing athletes. His parents were Olympic sailing athletes.
Oh, wow.
And his siblings have done Olympic campaigns and raced at a very high level nationally and internationally.
All right, let's see. Is this Freddie right here? Is that who we're looking at, Sarah?
Yes, I believe so.
Let's get the sail number. Let's see.
And who is Freddie sailing with today at this
Estella
regatta?
Morris.
Okay, very
Is it?
cool.
Did you say Freddie Parkin?
Yep.
Freddie Parkin and Estella Morris. Their boat 9211, or sail 9211, and it's boat number 107. Great job. What do you think they're saying right now to each other?
Probably talking about the weather, or I don't know. Sometimes, it's so special to be, no matter how experienced you get, it's always so special to be able to perform at such a high level and have a gap like that on the fleet that it really allows people to let their guard down sometimes, and you can laugh a little and enjoy the moment. I bet they're enjoying it very much. Maybe they're talking about cartoons, or I don't know.
Cartoons.
What do teenagers do?
But they're probably talking about how hungry they are and how they want to go eat, would be my guess, right? Teenagers, they like to eat a lot.
That's true.
And
That's
thinking,
true.
hey, we earned our meal tonight. 9211 here, 9211.
And Freddie just got back from the Youth Sailing World Championship in Buzios, Brazil.
We'll just look, yep, 9211, that's Freddie and Estella. Now, did Freddie sail with Estella there, or you don't know?
No, he sailed with a different crew, with Asher Beck,
Oh, nice.
I believe.
And how'd they do?
Actually, I don't know the score,
Okay,
but I will look that up for you.
okay. We can look that up. Great job. And great job bringing that spinnaker in right now. Okay. And we've asked them to come over for a little boatside interview. Freddie and Estella. Freddie and Estella sail for a Coral Reef Yacht Club. Now, will he be going to Lake Garda also?
I am
Well,
not
you're not
sure,
sure?
but I do know that last year at the Worlds, Freddie did win the mixed
Oh, wow.
I-420,
Okay.
or the male I-420 event.
That's still a great drone shot that we see out here. Coming on up to the buoy here. What's going on, Sarah?
This is the rest of the pack here. We have 9370, followed by 2383, 8914, and that completes the top 5 there. These are our top 5 boats. The boat that's in the lead out of the picture right now, but the next 4 are number 2 through 5, and close on their heels is 6625, hoping to get a piece of them at the very tail end of this race. It looks like the Blue Fleet has spread out a lot in this race, and what we saw from the Yellow Fleet in their last race was that boats were pretty close together in big clumps as they were going on this last downwind. And
We had 141 there, Peter Herlihy and Finn Sperry. And then we have boat 7 here coming up. Boat 7, Noah Stapleton and Hannah Crompton. Boat 53. They're moving faster than I can. Boat 53, no, Drew Dorsey and Abby Baird. That's a boat 8106. You know, some folks asked us to show 8106, and there you have it.
Good
Who do we
racing
have
from
coming here?
8106.
Yep. Boat 74.
As we're talking about these boats going downwind, there's been some interesting developments with the breeze. It seems like we've had a bit more of breeze fill in, and it seems like it's filled strongly from the course right. So as these boats are coming downwind, the middle part of the pack of the Blue Fleet, it seems like boats that were oriented more toward that right pressure are making gains. And while we do have all the footage up right now, you see that big pressure line up there on the screen.
Where do you? I don't see.
So it's it's a darker water, farther away.
Oh, in the back.
Yeah, in the back. So
Okay.
that's kind of what I'm seeing reflected in the speeds of the boats that are coming downwind. You can see that the boats that are closer to that pressure are going a little faster. Here we have it. We have good footage of that change happening, and I think that has coincided with the sky clearing a little bit, because it's been really cloudy after that front came through, and now all of a sudden we have a opening of blue sky, and that's allowing for some mixing of pressure to come down onto the water.
We just saw boat 66. That was Minx Anthony and Leighton Rivero. And then who do we have here coming around the bend? I believe that's boat 12. Yep. Maddie Jansen and Henry von Siswiski. And you know what, Sarah? I'm going to give you my microphone because the cord's longer. There we go.
Hey guys, we
And,
have
here we have
Freddie and
9211.
Estella here. Nice race, guys.
You guys hop over on this side?
What do you think made the biggest difference for you in gaining that huge lead?
Probably the first upwind.
What did you do differently from the other boats?
I think we were just able to get away off the start, and then after that it was pretty easy to connect the pressure and maintain the lead.
Nice work. And did you find that one side of the course was working better than the other?
Yeah, throughout the race it was shifting right mostly, and there wasn't many options on the left that worked, so it was probably pretty course right throughout the race.
Does that impact how you're going to make decisions for your second race of the day?
Yeah, it still looks like it's pretty right, and I'll watch the lead before us to see what they do, but it looks still nice fresh on the right, so we'll see.
Nice. How did you make the boat so fast?
Just keeping like your sails, like keeping the flow on your sails and keeping a flat boat really helps just build your speed, like go throughout the course.
Yeah. Is the pressure going up and down a lot? Yeah. Cool. Well, really nice job, guys. Any shout outs you want to make?
I don't know any.
You don't know any shout outs?
No.
Mom and dad? Somebody?
Yeah, shout out mom and dad.
Yeah, okay. I know they're watching.
Yeah.
All right, well, good luck in the next race, okay?
Thank you. All right, thanks guys.
All right, there you heard it. That was Freddie and Estella. I think we could safely say that they won first place. They were pretty far out in front there.
It sure looked like it.
Yeah.
I don't have a list of which boats were over early in that fleet, but we're going to have to see. You guys can all take a look at home and check in the results as they come in. We do know there were 9 boats that were black flagged in that start. Now this huge pack of boats is coming into the finish line here in the Blue Fleet race. We see footage of them on the screen, rounding the gate mark, and then going around their final turning mark and heading upwind to the finish line. Bit of a drag race to the finish for these guys. Again, I mentioned this before, and you guys can't really see the sky on the drone footage, but it looks like we have some big openings and blue sky peeking through, big openings in the clouds. And what that means is that we might see some more mixing, pressure mixing down from the higher levels of the atmosphere after this cold front has come through. And that could result in pressure going back up. So we can see that on the screen now. There's some dark spots on the water. You can see the blue holes between the clouds where some blue sky is poking through. So upper atmospheric mixing down to the surface level is going to be what makes an impact on how much pressure we have. If the sky gets cloudy again, we could see the breeze diminish again. I'm not an expert on these things. I am not a meteorologist, but that's just my experience.
Well, I was just going to ask you that. As a sailor and you are on Team USA, do you have teachers who teach you about how to look at the clouds and how to look at the water and make good decisions? I mean, how does that work?
That's a great question. We certainly do. I mean, we've worked with several meteorologists over the years, and there's a lot of trial and error involved as well. We do seminars as a team, and there's a lot of textbook studying, but really you learn the most from seeing it play out on the water. That's where having good coaching can matter a lot, because when you're out there and you have a coach that's pointing out that there's blue sky and the pressure is going up, well, that's how you learn, So here we have pulling up to the coach boat.
Okay, I loosened this one up, so I think we're good to go. Hi guys, how you doing? Good. You tell me how we doing. How's it going out there? Go ahead first. Can I get your name?
I'm Marcus.
Marcus, and who's with you?
Sam.
Sam Sperry and Marcus, and you guys sail for?
New Bedford Yacht Club. Buzzards Yacht Club.
What is it?
Buzzards Yacht Club in Bocasset.
Wow, Buzzard Yacht Club. And how was it out there, you guys?
Oh, spectacular.
Tell,
Great racing, yeah.
tell me what worked and what didn't work.
So we had a great start. Right off the line, we were gone. First upwind was great. We played it with leverage with the fleet really well. Unfortunately, we jibed and went to the wrong side on the downwinds, but we were able to make it up on the second upwind. And last downwind, we made it like 5 spots just by playing tactics really well. And then that course change was a little.
Well, that helped us, I think.
Yeah, it ended up helping us because we made up a bunch of spots. So that was good.
Why did it help you?
I think a bunch of people didn't really realize what was happening, so we just kind of followed the group and managed to make up a couple spots.
Great. And then that was your second race for the day?
That was our first.
That was your first, so you have one more. What are you going to do differently the second time around?
Well, I think now this is our first time ever sailing together, so that was a good way to get a shakedown race in, and our communication's really stellar. Keeping the boat flat and playing the lows and puffs now. It feels like the wind's coming back in a little bit because it died off a little bit. So we're ready for that, and just have fun. We're doing good. I'm happy with how we're doing. Nice little top 10 upcoming.
Awesome. Well, you guys look great out there. Keep that smile on your face, and we'll check in with you at the end of the second race.
Awesome. Have a great day.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Great interview there. Bow number 139. And the breeze is up right now. The breeze is up here. We can see big ripples on the water, more chop forming. Yellow fleet is getting ready to go into sequence, and they will be closely followed by blue. Both fleets for the second race of the day, race 2 of the qualifying series in the Club 420 at the Orange Bowl International Youth Regatta.
You can just feel the energy, when they come up on the side of the boat, they're just pumped up and they're enthusiastic, they're ready to go and get in line for that second race, and that's what it's all about. It's so great to be able to talk to them and just capture the moment. All right, it looks like we have a couple more people coming up here. And we'll see if we can get one more interview, and then we're going to take a look at some pre-taped interview we have, and I think we're going to regroup and see if we can get over to the Ilkas. Yep. So we're going to, you guys, what we're going to do? We're going to wrap up here in a little bit. We're going to get one more interview here. And we do know some people want to see the Ilkas, so we're going to head over to our next location here. So this is boat 129, who's coming up here. Well, we have two great sailors.
Isabella Henrik and Natalie Cauldron.
Okay, Isabella and Natalie. And Sarah's going to go over and have a chat with them. Who's Isabella? Isabella and Natalie? Okay, great. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. Hi, Isabella and Natalie. How was that race for you?
Not our best. It could have been better.
Well, what would you change for the next race?
I think we should have gotten off the
start?
We tried to start boat, but we got shot out the back, so there was so many clumps of boats that it just made it really difficult to stay consistent.
Yeah. How would you feel if I told you there was around 9 boats over that time?
I would
At
say
least-
we're definitely more than 9 boats, but 9 boats that got caught.
Yeah, I think that the fleet was pushing the line really hard in that race, so don't be too tough on yourself about the start. In the next race, you guys are going to try to be closer to the line, first row?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, make sure you check the line because I'm sure the pin is higher this time.
Okay. Better
Okay?
line sight.
Thank
Better
you.
line sight and have fun. Make sure you get all that water out of your boat.
Yeah.
Is there,
We accumulated a lot of water through the race.
yeah, for sure. Are there any shout outs you want to make to your parents or your friends?
Yeah, to our coaches, Romaine, Ian Robinson, and Mickey Munns. They're really awesome.
Yeah? Nice. Okay, well make sure you go get some chat in with them and figure out what your plan is for the next race, okay? The breeze is up, right?
Yeah.
Good time for hiking on the trapeze.
Yeah. It got really light at the worst time on the downwind, so hopefully this race is better.
Also leading a lot more than I thought it would too.
All right, well good luck in the next race, girls. Have
you.
fun.
All right, great. Love our boat side interviews here. And here's the plan, guys. We're going to try to make our way over to the Ilkas because we do want to catch part of those races as well. But we're going to see if that is in fact going to happen. And while we kind of regroup here, we would love for you to get a little better understanding about the different divisions, green, red, white, and blue, Ilkas and 420s. And we talked to some of the sailors so they could explain to you how it works. Take a look at this.
Hi, my name is Alex Vostelvecchio, and this is the Coral Reef Yacht Club Green Fleet team. So today we're going to ask a couple of questions to all of our teammates at Coral Reef. Vivi, what are the 4 qualities?
Respect, kindness, love, and peace.
So why do you enjoy sailing so much?
I enjoy sailing because I get to talk to all of my friends. I get to be around people that I actually enjoy being around, and it's something that I find fun doing. Just an overall stress reliever for school and stuff like that.
So, Sammy, why do you love sailing, and how long have you been doing it?
So, I honestly love sailing just because it gives us a really good experience for the future to build up qualities that Vivi said. And I've been sailing for 3 years or so, 3.5 years.
So, Chris, how does sailing impact your life?
It really helps me, and everything I do, it helps stress relieve me, like Victoria said. And it's like a separate life where everything's very fun for me, and nothing I do I don't like. I really like everything, and I make a lot of friends.
So, CJ, how has sailing changed your life for the better?
Sailing has changed my life because it has taught me how to really focus on something. If it's something I love, I'll do it. And it taught me how to just focus on that one thing and get better at it. And it also helps because when you get better at something, you like it more.
So, Danny, how does sailing impact your confidence in everyday life?
Sailing impacts my confidence because before I wouldn't be able to say something in front of all of you, but now I feel comfortable with it. And not just here, at school, everywhere.
We are the Coral Reef Yacht Club sailing team. We'll see you on the water.
Hi, Casey. And what are you excited about this year?
I'm doing a lot more with bigger boats as well as these opties, and I'm excited to be doing way more bigger regattas and really fun places.
Now, you're red, white, and blue now. What will you be next year?
I'm probably going to start doing 420s.
And are you excited about that?
Yeah, I am. I already started doing my school's team, and I can't wait to move up a little more.
Amazing. Hey, have a great day out there on the water. We got one more friend here with red, white, and blue. Your name is?
Sophia.
Hi, Sophia. What's going on right now? Tell me what's happening.
We're launching our boats for practice day.
Okay, so we're actually shooting this a few days before the race actually begins. This is practice. And why is it so important today to get out there and practice?
The regatta starts tomorrow, so you just want to get all broken in and ready to sail.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I was sailing last week, so I'm really excited and ready.
And where are you from?
Annapolis.
Oh, Annapolis. Great. Well, welcome to sunny South Florida, or overcast South Florida, I should say.
Thank you.
Have a great day, guys.
Hi, my name's Garrett, and I sail for Coral Reef. I'm for C420s.
And what are the 420s?
C420s are a double-handed boat, usually sailed after Green Fleet and Red, White, and Blue for usually older sailors. And yeah, it's a great boat.
And who's your teammate?
Manolo Campos.
And have you guys sailed together a long time?
Yeah, we've been sailing together for like around a year now.
And why do you do it?
Cause it's fun, like to be in the water, like just like great out, great weather, and it's just super fun to be racing everyone. So it's just fun to do.
What do you get out of it?
I mean, experiences, a trophy maybe, but it's just like really fun to do, and friendship, experiences, stuff like that.
And have you been in Green Fleet, then Red, White, and Blue, and now 420s?
Yeah, I've done all of them.
And for how many years?
5+, yeah.
And why would you tell someone they should give this a try?
I think you should give it a try because, I mean, if you love the water, especially since you live in Miami, it's just like it's super convenient to just go out in the water and sail. And I mean, it's just, like I said before, it's super fun to just go out and sail.
Almost a crime not to.
Yeah, exactly. This is Manolo, my crew.
Hey Manolo, so how do you feel about the regatta this year?
I'm feeling good. I feel like we can do pretty well. We just got to hope everything goes our way and that we can do better than everyone else.
What's your strategy?
Well, want to win. It's always the goal. But yeah, I think just sail fast, see what we can do with the shifts. And, yeah.
What do you talk about when you're on the water for that many hours?
Mostly we talk about like what we see, clouds, weather-wise, what's on the water. And every once in a while we'll crack a joke or whatever, but yeah, we just try and keep it fun, try and keep our heads cool.
Have you sailed together a long time?
Yeah, we're coming up almost on a year sailing together.
And how's it been going?
I like him, he's chill, so it's been going well, yeah, no complaints.
And what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm happy. We're gonna try and see if we can do better at this regatta than we have before. So yeah.
All right. And what do you want people to know about sailing on the water, and why, what you take away from this?
Well, I think one thing, you get to meet a lot of new people and you learn a lot of skills that are helpful in life. So yeah, that's one of the things I enjoy about it.
You take them with you from the water to the shore, huh?
Of course I do.
And what's your name?
Sam Sperry.
And you are?
Marcus Greco.
And you guys are teammates?
Yes.
And what are you doing here today? What's going on right here?
Well, we're rigging up our masts to get ready to go out and practice.
And how long have you been sailing?
Well, together this is our first day, but sailing, like, as long as I can remember, probably.
And who do you sail for?
So I sail for Buzzards Yacht Club in Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
And you sail for?
New Bedford Yacht Club.
So how do you guys get put together as teammates?
It's a funny story. My crew injured himself a couple days ago, right before the event. So
I was on my way home from vacation in the Bahamas, and I got a text from a friend saying they need a replacement. So 2 days later, on Christmas, I was on a flight down here, and I'm excited to be able to sail again. We've known each other, we're good friends, but we've never sailed together, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So how do you decide, like, is there a number one spot, a number two spot? How does that work?
For who's going to be skipper and crew. So he's better at skipper, and I'm better at crew. So it was a pretty easy decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you feel pretty confident? You think you're going to do well as a team, even though it's your first time sailing together?
We'll see what happens.
I have some confidence. I think we do pretty good.
Yeah.
What is the one guarantee, out of sailing, that what happens?
Well, we'll have some fun because we're sailing Miami. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, right.
And I think we'll try to get at least Gold Fleet, maybe top 30, top 25. We'll see.
Does that sound good to you?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so we have some ladies here racing in the 420. Go ahead and give me your names.
I'm Ellie.
I'm Anna.
Sage.
And who do you all race for? What club?
NB4C.
Which is?
Newport Beach.
Same
thing.
Oh, Newport Beach. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So what do you think of South Florida?
I really like, it's warm. So that's definitely a plus. Yeah, it's nice.
And do you guys race together or separately, or?
I mean, we're all on separate boats, but we're going to practice together. So.
Yes.
Okay. And what are you looking forward to the most?
I'm really just looking forward to meet everybody again because I haven't seen them in a while, and just the racing.
And what do you think? Have you checked out the conditions, the water, the weather, or do you have any concerns?
I mean, it looks pretty good. The weather seems pretty consistent, so I don't know. I'm excited to try the different conditions. I've never sailed in this part of Florida, so I'm excited to see kind of what it holds.
What do you think is the most challenging part of being in a whole different part of the world?
I think just like getting used to conditions and like the water here, but it's good to be practice days ahead of time to kind of like get used to it.
Okay, so you guys think you're going to do pretty well? What do you think?
Hopefully. We're really looking forward to it and see what our results look like.
Okay, well, best of luck to you, ladies.
Thank you.
And this is James. You won last year the Orange Bowl Regatta. What division?
Ilka 4.
And how did that feel when you found out you won?
It was like really tight going into it. So like when I won, like I was honestly excited about like the football game because we knew about that before. So that was just like a really good experience. And I got to invite my coach and my brother.
So tell me how that works, the football game.
So they take all like the winners like of each class, and then we go on like this bus, and then what happens is we get to go on a field like any other person, but then like we get recognized on the field. So that was just like a really like immaculate experience just going on the field.
You gonna do it again this year?
Hopefully, I'm trying, yeah.
What was your strategy of winning last year? How did you pull it off?
Well, I was like pretty new to the boat. It was like one of my first regattas, so I was just mainly focusing on speed and then just like kind of like keeping my head straight throughout the regatta. And I was just really consistent at the end, and it worked out.
And why do you like sailing the Ilkas?
They're really physical, and it's like a really technical boat. So that's really why I picked it. Like it's a really physical boat, and I feel like I'm more physical than most people. So like that's where I like extend.
And who do you sail for? What club?
Well, my club is South Carolina Yacht. I live in Charleston, but I'm with Team SP, like my coach. That's Team SP. His name's Stefano. So like I'm with him. I'm on like a little private team with him right now. So yeah.
All right. And are you gonna sail in college?
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. All right, we're gonna keep our eye on you.
Thank you.
Best of luck. Okay. What's your name?
I'm Owen Cott.
And where are you from?
I'm from Lake Forest, Illinois.
And where are we? What is this? What are we looking at?
We're at Shake a Leg, where the lasers are based for this week.
And you sail lasers?
I do, yes.
How long have you been sailing?
I've been sailing since I was 6.
Wow. And how old are you now?
I am 16.
So how has it been having a lifetime of sailing?
It's been great. There's so many great people in this sport, and the competition is just amazing.
And what do you hope to do with this ultimately? Do you want to sail in college, or what do you think?
I do want to sail in college, definitely.
Any college in particular?
Nothing yet. Still deciding.
Okay. And why do you love it? Tell me what the takeaway is for you.
Honestly, I love the competition, and there's a bunch of great people in the sport, and it's just fun to be out in the water.
Great. Any advice you have for people who want to get up to this level? This is the highest level.
I'd say just sail the boat and get time on a tiller. That makes everything better.
What do you think of South Florida?
It's amazing. I'm from Chicago, so it's a lot different.
A lot different.
I like the heat.
Especially this time of year.
I know.
Thanks so much. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
Okay, what's your name?
I'm Riley Rodell.
Hi, and where are you from?
I'm from Hollis, New Hampshire.
From New Hampshire,
Yeah.
So South Florida's a little different.
It is, yeah.
Welcome to South Florida. And you are sailing in the Ilkas.
Yes, Ilka 6.
And what are you doing here right now? Just educate the folks at home.
I'm putting on my rudder, and then I'll attach the tiller, and this is how you steer the boat.
And you're getting ready to do a little practice run?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think about being here at the Orange Bowl Regatta?
I'm excited. It's my first time. Yeah.
Why did you want to participate?
I'm a college sailor, and I want to sail lasers in college, so I had to get some more experience, so I'm here.
And you already sail in college? Or
I do, yeah.
Where do you go to school?
Hobart and William Smith colleges.
Amazing. So is this part of the college curriculum? Whoa, watch that boom.
No, it's not, no.
This is just for fun for you?
Yeah.
Okay, and so how did you research this? Because the waters are a little different here than other places. What was your method to get to this point?
I talked to some of my teammates who are from the area and kind of heard what they had to say about growing up sailing here and the information they had.
And what did they say?
Well, they talked a lot about you have to sail like pretty far out, I guess, to get to where we race. And the water is like flat, and they said there tends to be not a lot of wind, especially during this regatta.
So what's your strategy? Figure it out when you get there?
It's my first time on the water, so I'm gonna see how it is for myself.
All right, well, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, bye.
Have a great day.
Back out here live. Hi everyone, I'm Cynthia, and who is this? This is Felipe. This is our third year out here streaming this live drone coverage, and this is one of our phenomenal drone guys. Everyone's like, who does the drones? How does it work? So how does it work? Because this is an art. You're really good at what you do.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough environment out here for sure, being out on the water on a moving platform. So like Cynthia said, this is our third year doing it, and myself, Raul, and Anthony are all a big team here that we have multiple drones flying out at the same time on the platform as you guys are talking. So if you looked at the boat, it's filled with wires and cables everywhere, but we love it. So, I mean, the key to really making sure we give a good live show is letting you guys, the audience, see what's happening out on the water. It's a little difficult, even for us, just from this perspective, to really see what's going on. But the drones allow us to really give you guys that perspective and allow the coaches, the parents, even you guys after the racing to see what happened during the race.
And a lot of people want to know with the weather, can you fly in the rain?
So unfortunately, we can't fly in the rain yet. There are drones out there, but they lack in visual quality. So when it starts raining, we hold out as long as we can, and then when we can't, we have a couple GoPros and handheld cameras that we usually use out here. And now we actually just transitioned over to the laser fleet, the Ilka fleet, and it's going to be pretty exciting. What do you think, Cynthia?
I think it's going to be great. I know that a lot of people were waiting for us to get over here. These are typically our older sailors. There are a few of them, I think, in college. And so we look forward to seeing them. You also, one of the reasons you are so great at your job is you really know a lot about sailing.
Yeah, so, surprisingly enough, I'm not a sailor myself.
Okay.
I dove into sailing from droning, and I work with a lot of high-performance team, Olympians. We actually were doing a 4-day clinic right before the Orange Bowl with a bunch of the laser sailors. So we were able to do, live tracking, telemetry, diagnostics. We're doing a full-blown, so everybody can see, what's happening on the wind shifts, what they did wrong, what they did right. It's a really high-end performance thing, and especially for young kids, being able to do this is really, it takes it to the next level. We were working with a guy named Maru, who does UR sailing here in Miami. A very talented coach, and awesome the way we're using these Vacaros. They're basically used for start lines and tactics and stuff like that, and we're able to gather all that information, put into something that the kids can actually comprehend and be able to use themselves and get better. It's amazing.
Amazing, yeah. It is. And we know we love your work. We're going to let you get back up there and get those drones up. And we're going to get organized here. We're going to start in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, we did interview some of the coaches, and we know that they wanted to share their words of wisdom with you. So go ahead and take a look at this.
My name is Michael Alonso. I'm the head coach at Coral Reef Yacht Club. In this case, the division that I have is Green Fleet. It's about 80 kids cap to 85 sometimes, according to the PRO. And the level is very, very important. More than the level is the opportunity that have all the kids from other countries to join us and to learn what we have in the bay. The weather, also the commodity that the kids give back to other people. And the goal is not only performance, it's also getting all these kids right here, give a little bit of passion for what we have through sailing. These kids are so well behaved, and also they're willing to teach and to share what they have for the kids around the world. That's why we as Coral Reef team members, also the Green Fleet, we encourage everybody who can do this event worldwide. We're welcome to Miami, the capital of the sun.
And we are here with Coach Bernat. He is a coach of the red, white, and blue. So tell me the difference between Green Fleet, red, white, and blue, 420s, and lasers.
Well, 420s and lasers are a youth class. It's usually for people sailors between 15 and 18 years old. Then red, white, and blue and Green Fleet is the same boat, the Opti. But Green Fleet is more for the sailors are learning the ropes and trying to get into the higher level, right? So it's more of a learning experience. Red, white, and blue is when they are actually advanced enough to start understanding the concept of racing and strategy, decision making, and all these things, right? So that's pretty much the difference.
And you are the red, white, and blue coach.
I'm one of the red, white, and blue coaches. So Amari is the head of the coach, and then I'm a coach, another coach with Chris Craven. So we're three of us.
So when you graduate from this level, what do you want? What boxes are you checking? What do you want to make sure the kids know before they move on?
Oh, pretty much every single skill. Obviously there's a lot of work on the technical aspect, but when they're advanced in red, white, and blue, there's a lot of mental game, right? So strategy, tactics, decision making, meteorology, psychology, right? We want to have complete sailors, right? Sailors that can move to a youth class and they don't need you. They are independent enough that they can take their own decisions and understand their own mistakes.
So when they first join Red, White, and Blue, they need you. By the end, they don't need you.
Well, I wouldn't say they need us. But that's pretty much it, right? It's like we want to make sure they're independent enough that they can sell any boat by themselves without a coach behind, kind of yelling at them.
Amazing. And how does this regatta compare to the others?
Oh, we're talking about the largest youth sailing competition in North America, right? And it's in Miami, which has got some of the best weather in the U.S. So it's high-level competition, right? We have international sailors, and the difficult part is you never know what kind of conditions you're gonna get, right? It can be like light winds, heavy winds. It can be cold, it can be warm. So it's always tricky, right? It's not easy to win. The winner, it's really a super complete sailor.
Prepare for whatever comes your way.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm here with two 420 coaches. Your name is?
Romain Bono.
And your name is?
Mickey Muntz.
And what is the goal? By the time the kids do Green Fleet, then Red, White, and Blue, and then they get to this level, what is the goal?
So we are coaching Club 420s for Coral Reef Yacht Club. So basically our goal is to make sure, getting some strong results for the regatta and to see where we are after like a couple of months working like every weekend. And yeah.
And what is your strategy for your kids?
For us, the regatta is a check-in or a test. We've been practicing for a few months together, and we've been studying, basically, and then we come and have our test. We see how we did, basically, and then we know what we have to work on for the next training segment.
And do you all coach regattas all over the world?
Yeah, the Club 420, it's mostly in the US, mostly in Florida. We had two regattas, like one in Jensen Beach, beginning of December, one in Fort Myers that was in October. So that's the third one for the winter.
And how did it go in those locations?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, we are happy with the progress. Our program is getting bigger and better, so we're happy with the improvement. I think it's going to be a challenging regatta because the conditions looks like it's going to be unstable and light. So, but we will see. Yeah, we are very excited.
And what do you want the kids to take away with all of this time, effort, and energy and money that they put into it?
It's a lot of lessons for their future in sailing and their future in their lives of being early, working hard, having integrity, and it's a lot of stuff that carries over into a career or anything else they might do in life if they're trying to accomplish something.
You get out what you put in, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Do you have any mantras or anything you constantly tell your sailors?
We want to make sure they respect the rules. They're on time. They respect the team too. As Mickey said, that it's like a life, like commitment, and so we want to make sure they respect all the things that they're going to do in their life in the future.
Okay, well, best of luck to you both. Have a great day.
Thank you.
So we are here at Shake a Leg, and this is where all the lasers are situated out here, as you can see, and this is one of the coaches. Hi, Coach. How you doing?
Hi, I'm fine.
Good.
Hot.
What is it hot?
Yeah.
Well, where are you from?
I'm from Peru.
Oh, Peru. Okay, well, it's hot there too. And why come to the Orange Bowl Regatta? Why are you here?
Well, I'm coaching a really talented group of kids here, and they all wanted me to be here, and happy to help them. And also because of the organization over the years has been so good, and we have great conditions to practice. The fleet is competitive, so we're happy to be here.
And have you participated before, or have your sailors?
I have in the Optis before, and we actually won last year in the 4.7. So we get to go to the football game.
That's great.
Our highlight.
Explain that to people, because some people don't know how that works.
Yeah, so every sailor that wins the Orange Bowl in the different classes gets a free ticket with their coach and another companion to the Orange Bowl football game. So.
And do they get to go on the field?
Yeah, we went on the field, and that was fun.
And was that fun?
It was really fun, yeah. My first time actually in a field. I had been to a football game once before.
Oh, wow.
When I was in college.
Wow, well that was a great experience. And what are you doing right here, right now? I see you have something in your hand.
I'm putting a hiking strap on. I gotta put some silicone on the screw, make sure it's tight.
Well, best of luck, and good luck defending your title.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome back live, everybody. I am Cynthia Demas alongside Team USA member Sarah Newberry Moore. She's getting ready to go to the Olympics in a few months. It looks like all the ducks are in the row for that to happen. It's not like 100%, so we have to say all that, but it's going to happen. And we are here. We've relocated to the, she can't say it, I can't. We've relocated to the Ilkas, and they had one race yesterday, one race today so far. They're getting ready for a second race. How's it going out there? How's it going? Good? Good. And they're getting organized, so we're not missing anything quite yet. So let's talk about the lasers here. What do people need to know? Who races the lasers? How does it look?
Great question. So the laser is a single-handed Olympic sailboat class and a youth class. So 2 of the classes here racing are also Olympic classes, the Ilka 6 and the Ilka 7. Ilka 6 is historically known as the laser radial, and that boat has a slightly flatter sail. It's a little bit less powerful, so athletes that are a bit smaller, on the smaller side in the laser world or the Ilka world, they will sail the 6. Or the 4, which is the smallest one, but these guys are not out with us today. They're on shore, I think.
I think they were set back, correct? The Ilka 4s went back to shore because it looked a little earlier, so they went in. So we have the 6s and the 7s
and
out
the
here.
7s are the big guys. The 7s are the heavier athletes in the Ilka fleet. And so at the Olympic level, the 7s are men's and the 6s are women's. But here at the youth level, I think that it is open for the 6s.
Nice. And I know that there's a few folks out here who sail for their college, and or they're hoping to sail in college. This is a pretty serious level when you're at this level, correct?
Yes, for sure. I mean, the majority of these Ilka athletes are extremely strong competitors. Best in the country are here.
And Ilka stands for?
International Laser Class Association.
Okay, amazing. So it's going to take just a little bit of time for them to get organized out here, and we do want to give a big thank you to our sponsor, Tucci. Tucci stands for what? You're going to find out when you take a look at this video. We got a behind-the-scenes tour at their largest factory in South Florida. The CEO took us on a tour. Take a look at this. Tucci, 25 years strong, based out of Miami, born in Miami is your slogan. And tell me, just wrap it up right here. Why support the Orange Bowl Regatta? Why is this a passion course?
Our company was born out of the sea here in Miami. We're passionate about sailing, about waterfront activities. So anything I can do to encourage that kind of lifestyle in the water, we want to support. So we're very proud to support the Orange Bowl Regatta. And looking forward to a great race this week.
Okay, I think we're going to have a great time on the water. Thank you, Dugan, and thank you for supporting the regatta and for all that you do for Miami as well.
Thank you, too. Cheers.
Hi, welcome back live. You're here on the Ilka course with me, Sarah Newberry Moore, and Cynthia Demos.
Yes, great to be out here. It's taking a little bit of time for them to get organized on the line. So in the meantime, we're going to talk about a few items.
So I was wondering, can you tell me what's up with the parent social? Is there something going on?
Yes, there's a parent social fundraiser for the Tucci International Orange Bowl Regatta. And it has been postponed now to Friday, so to tomorrow, December 29th. And that is at Coral Reef Yacht Club from 6 until 8. So it's postponed till tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow.
Probably because everything today got so pushed back because of the weather.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, Parent
For
Social
sure.
tomorrow.
And then we have another important announcement. The College Night Forum has been moved to Friday, December 29th.
Yep.
And it's only for juniors and seniors,
Yes.
okay? It's at Kennedy Park next door.
And also, there's so many great raffle items. And of course, the raffle items help raise some money as well.
Absolutely.
And if you would like to buy the raffle items, it's super easy. You just go to the Tucci Orange Bowl Instagram. So if you go to the Tucci Orange Bowl Instagram, you can buy the raffle items. The Ilka and 420 raffle items are there. And we gave away so many prizes last year. It's like everybody, you really should buy tickets because everybody wins something.
I think I'm going to buy tickets. It sounds great.
Yeah, it's fun. You win. I think they even give away a boat and everything. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying that. Got their attention now, didn't I? So we're waiting for the Ilkas to get situated. Let's get caught up on where we are. This is day 2 of the regatta. Yesterday was day 1, and it was a little light yesterday, right?
Yes, there were challenging conditions yesterday. Not very much wind for anybody, and some of the fleets didn't even race. I think the Ilkas only had one race yesterday.
One race yesterday. So then they had another race today, and they're getting ready for their second race of the day, but it is taking some time to get situated. Now let's talk about the 420s.
So we just left the 420 course. Those guys didn't race at all yesterday. It was too light for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they were just so excited to get on the water today and really get at it. Those guys, each fleet, the yellow and the blue, they had one race each. When we were leaving their course, they were starting their second race of the day, and there are only 2 races planned for the 420 fleet today.
Okay. And tomorrow we're going to be covering the green fleet and red, white, and blue fleet as well. And what is the status of them? Do we know?
Actually, I haven't checked in on those fleets
Okay.
today, but I do know that it's always a really exciting, it's really an exciting race course in both fleets. It's a huge regatta for Opties, for the red, white, and blue, and for the green fleet here at the Orange Bowl International Youth Regatta.
Amazing. I'm not being rude. I'm not like texting my mom or anything. I'm checking to see if you guys have any questions. If you do have questions, all you have to do is put it on the YouTube page, which I'm getting to right here. And as we get your questions or your comments, we will bring it up here and discuss it. So people are very helpful. You know, sometimes they say, hey, Cynthia, your shot's frozen. And then we say, thank you for that information, and we will fix it for you. Also, just so you know, if you're watching now, so this is the 2023 Orange Bowl Regatta Day 2 stream, and then tomorrow is the Day 3 stream, so that's a different link. So today is the Day 2 stream, tomorrow is the Day 3 stream. So I'm pulling up the stream right here to see if we have any questions from our folks out there.
And guys, please share the links with everybody, because, you know, it's just so exciting to be able to have full drone coverage of our athletes sailing here in Miami on Biscayne Bay. And it's unusual. It's really special. And the footage is great. I've been looking at it all day, commentating on it all day, and it's not to be missed. So please, please do share with everyone you know the Day 2 and the Day 3 links. But these are thanks to all the work that Cynthia does so well. What exactly What exactly are you doing? How
What
did you
do
make
you
this
do?
whole project happen? Tell us.
Well, I have a media company, and one thing we do is we do stream events live like this one. I have an amazing crew here, Anthony, Raul, and Felipe, and they're just phenomenal. So they make everything out here happen. We work together as a great team. We also do a lot of social media content for companies. We also train people on how to speak on camera.
She's currently coaching
And
me.
I'm coaching.
That's
You're
what this
doing
is.
an amazing job.
This is a project where Cynthia is coaching
What did
me.
I tell you was the trick? Only talk about what's streaming on
I'm
the
losing,
monitor.
I'm losing the pop quiz.
People don't realize that this is delayed. Actually, it's delayed quite a bit. So what we say out here doesn't air for quite a while. And then what you want to do is you just want to watch the monitor so you can see what shots
true.
the people at home are seeing, and that's what you talk about.
I know, and I was
great.
commentating on everything I saw.
That's okay. That's all right.
It was really exciting for me.
I know. I was
but
excited
it wasn't
too.
working so well for you.
And so you are part of Team USA.
Yes.
A U.S. Olympic athlete. And tell me what you were getting ready for. How do you prepare to go to the Olympics? She's going in the summer. We're very proud of you. I'm sitting by an Olympic athlete. It's
we
pretty
have
special.
we do have one final selection event. We qualified the USA for the games in October, and so that's a huge box to check. We're really excited. There's a spot for the Olympic NACRA 17, the foiling catamaran, mixed gender class. And we earned that spot, and now we go into our normal spring season. We really start with an off-season training block in the Canary Islands next month. All the fast boats will be there, and then we go into the racing season in the spring, and that's when our Olympic trials actually happens. We are very strong contenders for the games, so what we're focusing on is just putting in the right number of hours on the right things that we feel can make the biggest impact in our performance.
Well, it is thrilling for us to get to sit here and talk to you and to be able to watch you this summer. We have a lot of sponsors who make this possible. We heard from Tucci before. We have another sponsor. We would like you to hear from them. Take a look at this.
Sailors really face a triple threat, which is the water, the wind, and of course the sun. We always talk about the two different rays of the sun that are damaging, the UVB and the UVA rays.
I see you, I'm caught up in the feeling, I get tunnel vision.
And it's especially true, the problem is really more advanced in the sailing guys because they're out there in the sun so much longer, or anybody that's in the marine environment, you know, with the reflection coming off the water.
So when we were designing the formula for Harken Derm, I knew what I wanted in this sunscreen. I wanted a sunscreen that was very, very water resistant and only contains physical filters. All the labeling is very strictly regulated in the United States. And Harken Derm is labeled with the maximum allowable numbers, which is SPF 50 and 80-minute water resistance.
But there's a lot more to the sunscreen in the ingredients. How long does it stay on you when you're in water conditions? You know, if you're underwater or out, or you're getting hit with it. Does it wash off? Is it greasy?
So Harken Derm, I think about it, is like a marriage in a bottle. It's a marriage between a sailor and a dermatologist.
I never knew the feeling until you.
And a big thank you to Harken and Harken Derm. And we got 5 minutes until our race is starting, but you know a lot about Harken.
I do. Harken manufactures a lot of the parts that are on our boat, and they support us greatly. Harken Derm is additionally an incredible company. They create amazing skincare products for athletes, but for everybody. My whole family uses Harken Derm. We all use the sunscreen and the after sun.
Okay.
They're dermatologist formulated, approved, and they're reef safe. They're environmentally friendly. They're just an amazing all-around company. So very cool to have their support for the young athletes in our sport. Check them out.
Awesome. Love to hear it. And we thank them for their participation and their sponsorship for the Orange Bowl Regatta. Okay, we hear a lot of chatter going on the radios there, and we did hear a few whistles. So we're inside the 5-minute mark, correct?
Yes, we should be under 5 minutes to the next start on the Ilka course. Yeah, exciting. They've been in a bit of a delay, so I'm pretty sure all these athletes are just raring to go.
What's the delay all about? It really seems like it's taken a long time.
I have no idea.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, let's hear.
Let's
We're
see.
hearing more. We're hearing more horns. What's happening?
I think that should be our 4-minute gun for the which fleet are we in sequence for here? We have Ilka.
Well, 4s are out, so it's got to be 6 or 7. Correct?
Yeah, 6 or 7. It looks like. Does anybody know if we're in sequence for 6 or 7?
Do they race together?
Do they race together?
I thought 6 went first and then 7, but
I was under
we
the
can go
impression they
together.
had separate starts. Anyway,
Okay, we're gonna find out.
We're learning as we go here. It's been an interesting delay. Lots of things seemed pretty chaotic down here on the Ilka course, so
Yeah.
do bear with us as we figure out what the heck is going on. But it does look like the athletes are getting ready to go, which is so exciting for them because they've been sitting around for a while. And it's really difficult to get your head back into gear after you've been sitting for so long.
And it's funny because some of the athletes were sailing by us and we're going, well, how many races did you do? They said, 1. Okay, this is your second race? Yeah. How many are you doing? We have no idea. So I guess they're just figuring, need to know basis.
Yeah, that's the name of the game on a day like today.
Yeah.
You have the weather changing, race committees, trying their best to make things work, and it's just not predictable. So the athletes that are able to keep it present and stay focused, you're going to see that they've had great results today probably.
And just one race at a time anyway.
One race at a time.
You don't really need to know if there's another one or another one or another one. Just focus on the one at hand here.
Yeah, we would call it focusing on the process. And I think that most people have done that in some form or another in their life, in work or in sport.
When you're a U.S. Olympic athlete, what is the most frustrating part when you're out there on the water? Like
uncertainty. People really struggle to deal with uncertainty. I think all of us do. So like you're explaining, you're not sure what's going to happen next.
Now, what's going on? This does not look quite organized yet, but I'm not the pro you are. What's going on
Well,
here?
I think we're getting there. The drone footage is giving us a good shot of the starting line and the gate marks here. We can see boats sort of congregating around the committee boat end. Those 2 orange marks in the middle there, those are going to be the gate marks of the course later on. They're not really in play during the starting process and sequence, but later on you'll see that they get used as turning marks after a downwind leg. I'm not quite sure which end is favored here, so it's going to be very cool to see which end of the line comes out on top after this start. I can definitely say that, the clouds have come overhead again here in Miami over Biscayne Bay, and we've seen that with that cloud coverage, the wind has diminished. So when we left the 420 course, the sky had opened up a little bit. We saw some more mixing, some more wind coming down from the upper atmosphere. And now that the cloud cover is back, the winds are lighter again. That is the 1-minute horn.
1-minute horn. So I understand there's 2 flights of 6s, 1 flight of 7s, and it's a rolling start.
Excellent.
So that's what I was just informed by Felipe. Thank you, Felipe. So that's why maybe it still looks a little chaotic on the line, because it is a rolling start. How much time is in between each start? Do we know that?
Rolling start will piggyback. Each start will piggyback on the starting signal for the start before it. So it should be continuous 5-minute sequences.
Great.
We can see this is a great shot of the starting line here. It's funny because you can get a real feeling for who knows where the line is, right? We've had this one boat sitting in the middle of the line there, just maybe 1 or 2 boat lanes below the line. They're close. They might wind up over, but it's so interesting which boats have given themselves a good buffer and which ones have gotten super close to the line.
It doesn't look like a straight line.
No, and that's an indication of definitely of the fleet psychology and who has a good transit and who knows where the line is. Those boats on the left-hand side, they looked like they're just crossing the line now. They looked like they were a bit late to the gun. They didn't quite have as good of a feeling on where the line was.
So that was the start?
That was the start. Now we're off. We're in an Ilka 6 race, and these boats are super tactical. every half boat length matters here. So after the start, there's a bit of a shakedown process where the boats that have had a good start are going to extend forward, while boats that have had a bad start are going to tack away, like you see here. You see some boats tacking to get a better lane. Every time a boat has to tack to get a new lane, it's losing distance and boat lengths. It doesn't mean that that boat can't come back and have a great race, but there's a huge premium on good starting in a fleet that is as tight as an Ilka 6 fleet.
Well, and you would think also just the psychology of it, right? If you're not in a good position right off the top, it kind of puts your mind in a bad place. You're trying to play catch up the whole time, correct?
Yeah, well, I think and that's such an interesting point, because if you're the athlete who is a little behind after the start, you have two options. You know, you can feel like you're playing catch up, or you can work your process and get yourself back into a lane that works for you. Trying to find the best route and the best hope for, you know, a good move that is the process. That is the way that people become super good in this sport, is their ability to just go on to the next thing.
And you know what's fun also, I don't think we've mentioned this yet, that when you win the race, each division, the winners, they get to go to the Orange Bowl football game. They go to the actual Orange Bowl, and they get to go on the field and be recognized. So I did speak with one of the winners from last year who got to do that. And, you know, he said it was thrilling, and it's something, you know, really look forward to. I mean, you want to win, and then that's a bonus on top. You get to go to the game and be honored on the field. So
what a
that's
great
lot of fun.
incentive. Yeah, that is so cool. And I can only imagine it must be really fun to have won a race and to know that, you know, more than just the pride of winning it, you get to do something really cool.
And you know what else is fun? I understand that back in the day, there was, to promote the regatta, they apparently put football players, the Orange Bowl football players, in the boats, which was a funny sight because they're so large. Joining us now is Iris Kalaya. She is a historian here in Miami, and she's the one who told me that tidbit of information. Tell us a little bit more about the history of the regattas here, Iris.
It's fun. You know, we think of Orange Bowl because we're here because of sailing, but of course there is the first event connected with the Orange Bowl, which is of course football. That started in 1935. Sailing came on pretty soon after that. Sailing has always been a big part of the Orange Bowl. In 1938 was actually the first Orange Bowl regatta, but it wasn't until 1978 that we had young sailors come in. So it is really, even though boat racing, and I say boat racing because it was both sailboats and then power boats for a long time, especially in the 1940s after World War II, powerboat racing, small powerboat racing was really what the focus of Orange Bowl. And it's hard to believe now, but thousands of spectators would come out to Dinner Key and they set up bleachers, stadium seating to watch the powerboat racing. I say it's hard to believe now because there's so much going on in Miami these days to think you would get such a draw for any event is hard to believe. But at that time, this was really one of the only things going on at this time of year. So, you know, sailing has always been a part of the Orange Bowl and frankly always been a part of life in South Florida, at least for more than 100 years since people started coming down here regularly.
It's such a great tradition that we have here. Let's get it caught up here on the race and take a look at what's going on, but Iris will sit here with us so she can fill us in with her knowledge here. Thank you, Mrs. 305. So what's going on here? Looks like somebody's really pulled out in front.
Yeah, we do see a couple boats that have poked their way forward in the pack, and we see a couple stragglers as well. You know, the way that the Ilka fleet plays out, it's still going to come down to the last part of this race before we know who's really ahead. You can see, if you look in this drone footage, you can kind of see the other fleets on the bay upwind of our Ilkas. You can see, you know, if you know what you're looking for, you can see darker places on the water where pressure might be coming from. That's what these sailors are looking for when they are racing upwind. They are looking to find the best pressure on the course.
All right. So that was the first group of Ilka 6s, right? And I guess is the second group getting ready to start?
Yes, they're very close to getting off the line here. This is Ilka 7.
Oh, the 7s are going to go now. And then the next group of 6s? Okay. So the 7s are going to go next. And they look like they are getting slowly organized here.
Yeah, it seems like there are some big pressure differences on this race course. If you look at the drone footage, I can see boats that look like they're lifted, that they're in more pressure, and boats that look like they're in a little lighter spot and struggling. You know, there's so much opportunity on a day like to start. And
let's look at do we have a map? Raul, I know, has a map of the Ilka races, so we can kind of get a look at what this looks like out here. Tomorrow we're going to be taking a look at the Opties and red, white, and blue, and then of course the green fleet also. And we love to have the sailors come by and chat with us after the race is over. That's always fun to kind of hear their perspective and how it was out on the water.
they are the experts on what's going on the race course.
Are.
We have all these ideas, but they really are the experts.
They know what's going on. Okay, that's a beautiful shot right there.
It certainly is, yes. And you can see small angle differences between boats farther right and farther left. I think that ties really closely into this idea that today's the type of day where the wind is not steady. And here we have a boat, starboard boat, some boats on port ducking that boat.
Yikes.
This is where all the action happens. One duck can lead to more ducks, and one lee bow can lead to better crosses later on. So the choices that these guys make every time they have a close cross, port
it really
and starboard.
Looks like everyone's going in a different direction here. What's happening?
I know. I mean, some boats are lifted, some boats are headed, some boats are on port, some boats are on starboard. And for the most part, each athlete is really trying to balance staying in phase, which means staying lifted, right? You want to be lifted to the mark. So they're trying to be as lifted, as much on the lifted tack as possible.
What does lifted to the mark mean?
Well, it means that your angle to the mark is higher. It means that you have a shorter distance to the mark. And so it describes the difference between being on the angle of tack that's taking you closer and on the angle of tack that's taking you farther away. So these sailors are trying to balance staying on the lifted tack with finding the best lane for them, because every one of these boats has a different track to the mark based on how they started and where they are in the fleet.
Got it. So maybe we could let's get a drone. We're 2 minutes until the start of the 7, so maybe we could get one of the drones faced on the line there. We're ready. We're already there. They're ready. They're ahead of us.
Excellent.
So that's going to be in less than 2 minutes. We're going to get the 7s. And that's our bigger lasers, sailors.
Yes.
That sounded very professional the way I said that.
I think that was excellent.
Thank you. They're maybe not the older ones, but they're the bigger ones? Is that like by size, I mean?
That's my understanding of it, is that, because the sails are bigger, you need to be a little heavier to manage that power effectively.
And is that the 1 minute? That's the 1 minute. Okay, beautiful. Look at this. They're lining up beautifully. And
we have a lot of boats at the boat end of the line.
Well, what's the strategy there?
Well, they must think that they like the course right, or that the boat end is favored. Or some of these, it's also just a small pack. Maybe they're all trying to stay close to each other. My gut says that they like the boat end of the line. They think it's got some bias, and that they want to start closer to that end because it'll put them closer to the mark.
Okay, great. So we're lining up. There's a staggered start. So we have our 6s have been out there for at least 5 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have our next group going here, our 7s. You see a lot of Canada. Canada's well represented. Who else do you see? USA, of course.
Yep, we have USA, Canada. Oh, there's more Canada. This is a big North American event for sure. Here we have these boats coming off the line. So cool to see how they accelerate. That's a general recall. So the Ilka 7s have had a general recall. You see that yellow and blue flag in the drone footage there. That means that
that fleet is done for the day.
They are sending them in.
The PRO said we're done for the day, and so they don't get to race a second time. And now the first flight's going to come around and finish, so we'll take a look at that. But it looks like they canceled the 7s because they just jumped the line, and they said, we're going to skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you never know. That's why when we asked the kids,
that's why you
how
never
many
know.
races are there? They said, we don't know.
Oh, look at this action at the windward mark.
Oh, I love this. This is always
so
the fun.
Exciting.
This is where the action takes place.
Oh, yeah. And so these guys are, they're going upwind until they get to this first mark, and then they're going to pull up their boards and I believe they're heading over on a reach leg. Oh, nope, looks like they're heading downwind. So we
Okay,
have
let's see
a
who we're
wind.
looking at.
They're going on an inner course here. We have a downwind leg for these sixes. Some boats are jibing to get onto port jibe. Some are going straight on starboard jibe. They make that decision based on which side of the course they feel is going to give them the biggest advantage. Looks like Canada is going for a jibe, getting on port jibe. Wow, that was a nice flatten there.
We're well represented. We have USA, Sweden, Peru,
Jamaica,
the Netherlands, Italy, Canada, of course, the
Virgin
Bahamas,
Islands.
Virgin Islands,
And Antigua.
Antigua.
Yeah, very cool. This is a real international fleet here. See how close these guys get to each other. So their knowledge of the rules is so important, especially at the windward mark. They have to really understand where the rules apply, and also they have to be really good at maneuvering and having the visual spatial perception of where their boat's going to end up in a maneuver. We have some boats cruising downwind here. When they go downwind in the Ilka and in other classes that have dagger boards or center boards, they typically pull up those boards and try to reduce the drag that's in the water. So you'll see these guys have boards up a little bit. They're heeling the boats a little bit to windward, trying to get...
Beautiful shot there.
Gorgeous, yes.
224.85. That's William Baker. Lakewood Yacht Club. Beautiful shot there. Hey there. Hey Mom, I'm on TV. I love that one.
I don't know if we can see it in the drone,
Now,
but...
what's that boat right in the middle of everybody there?
Oh, that's a great question. That's probably the judge boat.
Okay.
And they're looking at these guys to make sure that they don't do anything illegal, anything against the rules.
Okay.
And if they were to see somebody doing something illegal, they would yellow flag them.
Like what?
Well, so like pumping and rocking. So you
Oh.
see how there's a certain amount of pumping and or other propulsion that is within the rules, and then there's a certain amount that the judges are looking for to see if maybe they're doing too much, maybe it's breaking the rule, and maybe in that case they're getting an unfair advantage, so they will fly a yellow flag if they see a boat that looks like they're getting an unfair advantage from too much propulsion.
And you have to kind of get up close to see that? Maybe they should come on our boat.
That's a great point.
We have a great bird's eye view.
We really do. We can really see all those leeches moving, and we can see the amount that each boat is rocking or pumping or rolling. Yeah, in our sport, it's interesting because the on the water judge boat is still the real authority on what's legal or not.
All right, we understand this is the leader right now. We're trying to get a sail number there. 208752, USA, 208752. And 208752. Alders, Kalinich, Irvin. Alders, Kalinich, Irvin. SSA, it says. That's USA 2087-52. And it looks like Alders is in the lead spot at this moment. Congratulations.
You could see Alders looking around at the boats to their right and left, and the boats behind, and trying to get a gauge on, hey, am I in the right place on this downwind? Do I need to go straight here? Do I need to jibe to protect? It's one of the most challenging things about sailing boats is your ability to look around and have an understanding of what's changing. And the athletes that can understand or perceive changes faster than their competitors are typically going to make the right decision earlier. So you could be really, really fast. You could hike really, really hard. You could have all these technical skills, but your ability to to interpret and understand the visuals of the race course and the other boats around you. That's really what's going to help you make the decisions you need to get ahead.
Ah, now we're seeing some blue skies there a little bit in the distance here.
Yes.
So we've been waiting for that nice shade of blue to peek through, and finally it is.
It certainly does wonders for our video shot.
It does. And there we go, 20:87.52. That is our leader, I believe. Yep, that's Alders. Still holding steady. Who's coming up behind Alders? We have 22:03.23. (22:03.23). That's Jason Folvig. Jason Folvig.
SYS SDYC.
And then we also have, was that 21, where do we have? 21:69.69 Lauderdale Yacht Club. And that was Madeline Torrey. Was that what, third place?
So our leader is heading straight downwind here. They're not on the left or the right side. It looks like they're oriented, to make a left-hand turn at the gate mark there that you see.
Smack dab in the middle.
Yeah, so you can really see, as the fleet behind rounded the mark, they spread out trying to get clear air, and they really had to pick a side, whereas
so you
the
get
leader
to pick
here...
which one you go around.
Yes, you can choose either gate mark, and, how would you make that decision, Cynthia?
I would ask you what to do, Sarah. What should Alders do?
Oh, such a good question. So some of the ways that you make that decision are like, number one, which mark is closer to the next mark, right? So in the video, I could be wrong. It looks to me like the left one, this one here on the left side of the screen might be a little favored.
Oh, you think so? I think the other one.
Okay, well then it could be the angle of the drone also.
Okay.
So that would, and let's say they were even. If they were even, okay, fine. Maybe either one is a great option.
I think let's see.
Then the next question is, which side of the course did you think was working better? And if you, for example, saw better pressure on the course right or the course left, you would make that decision.
Is that Alders who
That's
just
Alders,
there?
yeah.
Okay,
and so now we have a split. So this is the other part.
I see what's happening. Okay.
This is another part of your gate mark decision making is, where are the boats near me, behind, or in front of me going to go? So Alders is going to want to know where his second place competitor is going to go. He's going to want to know, they're going to want to know, is that boat that they're racing going the opposite way?
Let's try to get a read on who, well, I do like this shot, though. It's nice to see him go around, but I'd like to know who's in second place there, because I can't quite make it out.
Yeah, and I'm going to venture to say that we might be seeing a little bit of a current effect on this downwind as well. You can see all the boats there on the right-hand side of the screen. It looks like they sailed a little bit above ley line to the mark, and that can sometimes be indicative of current pushing on this race course in Biscayne Bay.
We got 22:053 just made his way around the turn there.
We have Sweden coming around the mark as well. Brazil behind. The boats that have rounded in the lead, they have tacked onto starboard, and they are now going upwind. I think you can see them there closer to the horizon behind the pack on starboard going upwind. And this group that's a little ways behind, look at this. You can see they're all lined up on port tack here. Each person is trying to figure out how they can get the best lane for themselves and advance on the boats ahead. A lot of heads turning, looking around, looking behind, looking for opportunities. That boat in the front here, they seem like they're in a great position because they have a bit of a gap between them and the boats behind. They have leverage on the boats to their left. They must like the right side because they're continuing to go toward it. So we'll see how that plays out for them as the race goes on. Seems like they have a little bit of wake from the committee boats here. Still rocking and rolling, leading to the right. We have boats that are obviously in the background there, boats that are on starboard now, heading course left. So it's an interesting situation. We have these boats that have gone for leverage on the right-hand side, And then boats that are trying to stay close to the pack they're with and protect and cover a little more. Leverage can be a really good thing when you split from other boats, because it means that if you get a shift that's advantageous, you're going to be really far ahead. But if you get a shift that's a disadvantage, you're going to be pretty far behind. You're going to make big losses.
So these are coaches' boats here on the right-hand side?
Yes, these are the coaches. They're on the bottom of the screen, trying to keep eyes on their athletes. They do sometimes get too close to the course, as you can see here. That does seem to be the case. We have a coach boat driving into the race course.
Can the coaches ever get black flagged and kicked out?
No, but I'm sure there's plenty that should that should get black flagged and kicked out. But it's important to keep the integrity of our racing. So I know the race committee does everything they can to ensure that the racing is fair and even.
So we'll have to see after this race if they're going to plan on doing a third race of the day or if they're going to call it quits.
Yes, we will have to see. Now we do have wind and the sky is clearing up, and we'll just have to see what the race committee decides. It is getting late in the day, though.
Yep, we started quite late. We were supposed to start, of course, at 10. This is the last race. Okay, so we just got word this is the last race. So we're going to stick with this until they finish up. Hopefully we can grab a few of the sailors when they're done and have a quick chat with them. And then it's on to the events of the evening, back at the club. Oh, they postponed almost everything to tomorrow, though, I think, right?
That's
Yeah,
true.
the parents' night and then the student night, yeah.
Well, I would imagine that after a day like today, these athletes are probably going to need a good dinner and a good rest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope their parents help them acquire those things.
I'm sure they will. They came all this way. They're going to do it right.
What do you think is a good after-race meal?
Oh, let's
What would
see.
you eat after a long day of racing?
I would have, anything tastes good, right? Like
I mean, I
when you
think
come off the water.
For sure.
You know what I might have here? I'd have like a good Cuban sandwich. That would be really good. What
I
about
can
you?
highly recommend that.
Like or
yes.
medianoche or something
I am
like
a
that.
native Miamian, and I think that
Yes.
would be really yummy.
Yes, that good toast, that good Cuban bread.
For sure. For sure. I think that protein is super important, which this sandwich does have protein.
Yes.
Probably having a bunch of protein right after a long day. And
Yeah, but I think carbs the night before are important,
important too,
right?
yeah. So
Well,
maybe
what
like
are you?
I would
what
have
are you
a-
asking me? You're the athlete.
I just wanted to
What
see
am
what
I?
you would say.
Okay, well, did I make the right choice?
I think you made the best choice for you.
Okay, well, what do you eat after a race?
I would probably eat like a piece of meat or protein, like salmon or chicken, like my go-to. That's my go-to. And then like maybe 2 cups of vegetables, like broccoli. Like a lot. I love broccoli.
So not my ham and bread idea?
No, but that sounds so yummy.
Wait a minute. Don't you need to eat carbs the night before a race?
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
eat carbs. I love carbs.
Okay.
I'm a pro-carb person.
Okay.
And I love pasta. So typically, if I'm exhausted after sailing, I will have
a bowl of pasta.
A bowl of pasta with like 2 cups of vegetables and some protein.
Oh, I love that. Delicious. Ooh, look at that. Okay.
But you know, it's important actually. The last thing I'll say about that is like, there's the dinner afterward, but then there's the like get off the water snack that's really important.
Which is what? Like, what's a good, like fruit? I
well,
would think.
like a banana could be good, but I think something with protein in it is important.
I think we're hungry.
I think we're really hungry.
We are talking about food way too long. I think people watching are thinking, those 2 girls, I think they need to get them a sandwich or something. Hey, listen, if you're going by and you have a sandwich, we're not going to say no.
I think these laser sailors would also not say no if you offered them a sandwich.
That
Look
is
at these
true.
guys going around the mark right now. We have them heading onto the reach leg. Tight racing in the top of the fleet here. A lot can happen in this top 7. But that's always the case in the Ilka fleet. They just have such tight racing, and the margins are so small. It's great to be able to have this drone footage. And again, you can see boats that have overstood the mark.
Yep, and you got to turn back.
Or they just have sailed a little extra distance. And that can make a big impact on how the rest of the race plays out for them.
So what's the big difference between the 6 and the 7s?
I think that primarily the size of the sail.
Yeah.
So the Ilka 6 has a radial cut sail, I believe, and it's a little flatter cut. And the Ilka 7 has a fuller cut, a bigger sail. But other than that, the boats are, I mean, this is one of the best classes in the world to sail in because these guys can travel almost anywhere in the world and charter a boat. All the boats are meant to be identical to each other. Of course, we know as athletes that that's not always the case.
Ooh, look at this guy speeding in there.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
gonna
here
come
he goes.
in. Oh.
That's
wow.
great.
Okay. That was pretty impressive, I have to say.
Oh, yeah. And you can
Who
see,
was
so
that?
part of the reason he could do that is because Canada was so overstood at that mark rounding.
Okay.
And
so
he was
there
able to just sneak right in there. Mm-hmm.
That was pretty
Oh,
good
yeah.
maneuvering right there.
Oh, yeah. And so we have, look at this pack of boats here, all spread out on the reach. And some boats are really high. They've stayed really high on the reach, like they're the windward boats on the right of the screen. And then you see boats that have gone low on the left-hand side of the screen. The reason why one or the other approach will pay off can have something to do with positioning and pressure, but also current. So we're going to have to see in the end, are the low boats gaining or are the high boats gaining on this reach?
How's the wind feeling to you?
Well, I think it's about the average that it's been today. I believe that it's gone farther right over the course of the day. And the water's pretty flat. My guess is that we have an incoming tide, but I'm not 100% sure. I think our skies are continuing to clear up here. And the temperature has also gone back up after the front. We had this line of rain and clouds, and the temperature really dropped drastically. And now it's back up a bit.
Tomorrow's looking pretty good. It looks like we're not going to have the rain tomorrow, so that's good news. We're going to have a low of 62, a high of 70 tomorrow, so
that's
nice.
lovely.
Perfect sailing weather. It will be a little cloudy though.
Yes.
So I don't know if we'll see the sun, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Kind of nice. You can see a little bit better, right? What's your perfect sailing conditions?
Oh my goodness, it's such a hard question to answer. Well, for me in my boat, foiling is really nice, and we foil at over 8 knots of wind. Upwind. We upwind foil at over 8 knots of wind. So I prefer between like 8 and 15. But anything. I mean, just being able to race is a beautiful experience to have. And for the amount of sailing days that we try to take on each year in Olympic class racing, we sail about 200 days a year. We're just happy not to miss days.
Wow, 200 days a year. It's pretty good.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
I do think on this reach leg, it's interesting to see how it's playing out. From the view we were looking at just before, what I saw looked like the boats that were in the high lanes were doing pretty well. But now that we're approaching this mark, it's hard to tell. Let's see, who do we have in the lead here?
Let's see if we can catch a number. Let's see, 208752. 208752. That is 208752. Oh, Alders.
We still have Alders in the lead. We have 8542 just behind.
8542.
218542 just behind.
21.
Then 218108. A lot of USA boats up in the front here.
8540.
Oh, we have Nathan Pine right behind Alders. Yep, that's right.
Team SP, Nathan Pine.
208752. Alders, then 81. Yeah, and so we have Nathan Pine right behind Alders. And then who's behind Nathan Pine? Who do we have back there? Right on his stern. 222918.
2229. Sorry, it's a little breezy out here and we're flipping pages, so. 222918, that's Richard Picorni. 73 sailing MCY. Richard Picorni.
We have right there is the, just behind that pack, 216969.
Oh, we talked about that before. $2169.69 was Lauderdale Yacht Club. That was Madeline Tori.
Okay, Madeline Tori right there on their tail. I love the Ilka 6 class because you have both genders racing each other. You have women and men, or girls and boys, and it's just a really wonderful class. You can see that, you know, it's really a matter of how well you start, how smart you are about your strategy and your tactical positioning on the upwind. And
great shot of Alders right there.
Of course, gender doesn't matter when you're working hard.
2087.52. Alders is in the lead.
You can see all those coach boats back there. They're just watching. They're just watching carefully to pick up on any clues that they can to give their athletes the tips that they need to get better in their fleet here. We have a lot of boats that have stayed sort of course right on the downwind. If you look at that, there's a bigger pack to the right-hand side of the screen than to the left. They must feel that there's better pressure there.
And usually this takes, how long does this one race take usually? 30 minutes?
I think typically more in this class. I would say more than 35.
Okay.
Maybe 40. This is one of the more traditional sailing classes, longer races and less races than in other performance classes.
It's ended up being a pretty nice day for sailing.
It was a great day.
After the rain passed, right? We
Beautiful.
got delayed about 4 hours, but it ended up being a beautiful day, and it's a nice bit of wind out here.
Yeah, and I think we should be grateful that overall the race committee decided to get athletes on the water and get them racing.
Now, you grew up you're from Miami. Did you do the Orange Bowl Regatta as a kid?
I did many times. Well, at least many times I remember. And it was always, when I was a kid, I just remember every year being really light or really windy.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, we spent so many Orange Bowls drifting around the bay.
Just wondering, what are we going to do next?
Waiting for wind. One year, my coach decided to go get a coffee on Key Biscayne and just left us out here.
Oh, and you didn't move?
And we just sat in the same place for an hour waiting for anything to happen, and that was a little traumatizing.
Are you coming back?
Are you coming back?
Or you weren't going to get any coffee?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think, well, at that stage I wasn't old enough for coffee, but
no.
but now I would be worried I wasn't going to get any
coffee.
Yeah, and then we've had years here where it's a big cold front coming through, and you get just, 20 knots and big chop. And it's so challenging. That's one of the most beautiful things about our sport is just you can go all these different places in the world, and on any given day or week, there's going to be something slightly different about the conditions. And to become well-rounded at the sport, it's just a matter of seeing them and embracing them over and over again, just like these guys are doing today.
Here we go, 21:85.42.
Yeah, plus in Miami, we do tend to have a little bit warmer weather in general, even when we have a cold front. I have to say I'm proud of that fact. That's why I have not yet moved away from Miami.
That was Nathan Pine at 21:85.42. Came around the buoy first there, and
okay, so we've had a change of lead as we finish up this race. It looks like we're heading into the finish here, from what I can tell. Is that right?
It looks like Alders is in second now, and Nathan is in first from our perspective.
Oh, here comes 21:73.47. Yep, trying to get inside on this boat. Let's see.
And we're going to bring Iris Kalaya back in here. She's our resident historian.
I just wanted to add, Sarah, you were speaking about the conditions, and that was the whole reason for having this in the first place, was to showcase Miami during the winter months. That was the whole point of even starting the Orange Bowl in the first place, was to, when the rest of the country was blanketed in snow, in 1935, in the midst of the Great Depression, the Miami boosters wanted to say, wait, we have something down here, we have great weather, and we want to have something that's going to show that off, much like the Rose Bowl. They modeled it after the Rose Bowl. So then we got the Orange Bowl, and then what better way to show the conditions in Miami than on the water? And so that's what led to sailing coming down here in the first place. So it's all about the conditions here in Biscayne Bay, especially at this time of year. As anyone, as you know, is a native Miamian, I'm a native Miamian, Cynthia as well. Actually, there's 3 of us here.
Wow. That's remarkable.
That is incredible. But I think, we sometimes we take it for granted that what we have down here, but really this is what was the whole point of having this in the first place.
Well, the whole reason we were established as a city was because of our weather, when Julia Tuttle sent an orange blossom north to Henry Flagler and said, hey, bring your train down here because we can grow fruit in the winter. And he said, oh, yeah, let me go check that out. Turned out to be true. Am I right? Am I Miss Historian?
It's a little, because
I'm a little off.
You know what? I love that. This is the first time I've been sitting next to 2 other people who know this story, whether or not it's the true story. It's the story I always heard growing up in Miami, and it's a beautiful story.
Well, it has truthiness to it. The spirit of the story is true in the sense that she was able to sell him on the weather down here. Whether she actually sent orange blossoms up to Henry Flagler is a little bit unclear. There's actually no proof of it, but it's one of those stories that has evolved down the line. But the fact remains is that she was trying to bring him down here.
Which we have done for all of these athletes, like Iris is saying, since the 1930s, since sailing started to be a part of 1938, yes, or 1930?
So 1938, the first Orange Bowl regatta
happened.
Yes, but actually the first regatta happened on Biscayne Bay in 1887, before
goodness.
there was even a city of Miami. Wow. So in February 1887 was actually the first regatta, which led to the formation of Biscayne Bay Yacht Club. There was enough interest down here amongst the early settlers. They said we're gonna
Commodore
be able to
Ralph Monroe.
Exactly, Commodore Ralph Monroe. Sarah, look at that. A true Miamian knowing your history. And if anyone's listening to this and interested in learning more, there's actually a book that Commodore Monroe, one of our early settlers, he was actually a yacht designer, a sailboat designer, and his beautiful home here has been preserved as a state park, the Barnacle. But in addition to all that, he chronicled his life on the bay, and it's called The Commodore Story. And it's a beautiful, I'd like to think it's a love letter to Biscayne Bay. And so if anyone who's down here, or even either visiting or a native Floridian, not many people have heard of that book, or at least far too few people have heard of it, but I love it, and it's still, it's no longer in print, but you can still find copies of it, and it's a beautiful, he talks about what the conditions were like here when he first came down here in the 1880s and in the earlier part of the 20th century.
I love that we can bring in this history and this talk about what the city of Miami is and what Biscayne Bay is as we're watching these athletes cross the finish line in the Ilka 6 race here on day 2 of racing at the International Orange Bowl Youth Regatta. And I think it's really incredible because these athletes, most of them travel all around the world to compete at different times. And, it can be easy to lose track of, what it is you're really doing. You're going to different places in the world, and you're becoming immersed in different cultures and in different bodies of water, and learning the landscape and learning the nature around you. So, it is a really nice moment to reflect on how the city of Miami formed, how much the beautiful natural wonders of Biscayne Bay impacted that, and how fortunate we all are to be here with our athletes today, watching them race in this really long-standing historic regatta. What we're seeing right now are boats crossing the finish line in the Ilka 6 racing. Thank you, Iris, for that insight into the history of this regatta. And I would recommend also, as a native Miamian, to any of you guys who are watching and who are from out of town, for sure in the next few days, take that as inspiration to check out some of the nautical history of Miami in regard to the Barnacle down in Coconut Grove, and maybe checking out the book that Iris has recommended, Commodore's Story.
All right, and I think this is it. This is the last few of the sailors crossing the finish line here for today, and I think this is wrapping up our racing for the day. What do you think?
I think so too, and we are so lucky to have this beautiful sunset happening right behind us.
Oh, I love it.
This day has started with clouds and rain, and it's ended with a beautiful sunset on Biscayne Bay.
And questions. But I have to say, even with the rain delay, which all the sailors were sitting around Coral Reef Yacht Club and kind of huddled inside together, they were having a blast. And they were playing cards, and it's kind of nice to have that delay because they get that bonding time and that togetherness time, right? Because when you're out on the water, you're not really socializing. And a big part of this is getting to meet people from other countries and all around the world and see them at different regattas or see them annually in Miami here. And it was great to see. I saw a lot of kids playing Uno or playing, different games. So it was a lot of fun. What a beautiful day. What a wonderful sunset to end our day with here.
I agree. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for having me on the on the boat today.
Oh my gosh, thank you for being here, Sarah. Are you kidding me? This has been great today, you guys. I think what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this up for the day, and tomorrow we are going to be covering red, white, and blue in the morning. If the weather allows us, we will have our streaming beginning at 10 a.m. And then after that, we will start with them, and then we will head over to Greenfleet. I see a little bit of a rainbow out there. I see a beautiful sunset.
Oh my gosh.
And we can leave you with a gorgeous picture of a sunset. And we will see you tomorrow for Sarah Newberry Moore, for our amazing team, our Jason, our captain out here today. Thank you so much. Our always Captain Tim, our whole crew out here, Iris, Anthony, Raul, Felipe, everybody. There's a village out here. Hey, we had a great time today. We hope you guys did too, and we will see you tomorrow.